Okay, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Kind of a weird time to be streaming at 1:13 p.m. on a Tuesday, but we do what we gotta do. Um, so for anyone watching on YouTube, I am also streaming on Twitch. I'm trying it out. I don't know, I'm getting a message saying that my stream is unstable on Twitch, so I don't know. If it's going to work me multi-streaming like this, but we're going to try it out. I've done it in the past. And yeah, we will just see how it goes. But today we're going to be continuing our series of playing through Elden Ring as the Tribunal from Morrowind. We've done a Dagoth playthrough, who's not a part of the Tribunal, but, it felt appropriate. And then we're doing Almalexia right now. We did Vivec and then Sothasil a couple months ago. So, getting back into this, I will get the game booted up and ready. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. I've been hard at work on the actual Almalexia lore video that I've been working on, and it's been really interesting to work on. She has genuinely just very little lore compared to the other two. And I've started to kind of work on a pet theory for why I think that is. Outside of just sexism being the root cause of things. So hopefully my theory will make some sense. And I need to get the game swapped over. Like so. Okay, so we started Almalexia. She looks like a kind of Giga Chad right now, but we started this playthrough at the end of the Sothasil playthrough, so we've got a little bit of time on it so far, but not much. Okay. Okay. 2001 fantasy sexism is real. Yes, this is true. But I'm not sure. Oh boy. But I'm not sure that that is the root cause of all of it anyway. So basically, there's this theory that I saw someone have on Reddit, and I'll have to credit it. But what the theory was basically that after Almalexia kind of ascended to godhood, she abandoned her name. Right, we were talking about going into the show for a river for some reason. But basically, the theory is that she abandoned her old name, whatever that was, and then she took on the name Almalexia. And Almalexia is a kind of like... Okay, so in ancient Elnifex, which is the language of the gods in Elder Scrolls, the word Alma translates directly to mother, which is kind of on the nose, and might suggest that Almalexia came up with the name, rather than that being her birth name. So something to consider, for sure. Okay, so I was on kind of a mission previously to get a bunch of stuff. We got our scimitars. We can try to level these up with some smithing stones if we want, but we don't have to. But these are going to represent Hope's Fire and True Flame. Hello, Dareloth. Love the vids. Glad I could stop by and watch the live. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. And also, how's it going, Bash and Brandon? And if you're watching on Twitch, I apologize. At the moment, I can't see Twitch chat. There's something wrong going on with my setup. Okay, so we've got how many flasks? We've got 5 flasks. I think that I want to try it again. I'm going to try market again. Because then we can get another talisman pouch, and we can try to get some grease as well for our weapon. So I don't know that I actually put... Oh, I did put some stuff in. Okay, let's drink the flask. And I like when he does this quite a bit, because that gives us an opportunity. Ooh. Ah! Okay, we want to do jump attacks with these. They're pretty good. I can also try to parry him. Oh, I thought I dodged that. Okay, we're gonna go for heavies when we can. Charged heavies, I mean. Might just have to trade a couple hits here. Also never sure if I need to dodge some of these or if I can strafe them. I feel like whenever I strafe attacks... There we go. I feel like whenever I strafe attacks in these games, I still wind up getting hit. We'll just top off our heals. Ooh, I love when he does this. Yikes. Grab these two. Ooh. You know, if we just play smart and not stupid, we should be good. I can try to bait out his jump attack, potentially. Because that's generally the safest way, and he usually will throw those two daggers, then jump if you're at the right distance. Okay, he's doing this. Ah. Okay. There's that. Let's see if we can get this. Heavy couldn't work. I'm well, thanks. Was just watching the last stream of this like 2 hours ago. More regular streams are a big W for me. How have things been since quitting your J word? They've been good. I've been working pretty hard on the Almalexia video. It should be coming out, I'm hoping, at the end of the week. And if I'm able to keep up this pace, I should be able to get a lore video out, like... I should be able to get a lore video out, like, pretty regularly, honestly. I'm not going to commit to, like, say once a week, but, like, potentially once a week, because if I'm able to give, like, 40 hours a week to a lore video, that's super helpful. And, like, a lot of the research phase that I've been doing for this Almalexia video has been combined with the writing process. Okay. Well, I could use more health. We have a shit ton of endurance, actually. But yeah, so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to make this work. And it'll really just depend on the success of the videos when I release them, so still definitely trying to do YouTube full-time is still definitely... I think we can get it charged off. Okay. He's got to be close to a stance break, right? Wow, that hit me. That's insane. It was me who messaged earlier on Twitch, by the way. I prefer YouTube anyway for both streaming and viewing. Gotcha. Yeah, it's difficult when the names are different on both YouTube and Twitch. Okay. Wish I could get into these Soulsborne games, but they just piss me off with how difficult they are. They get so much easier when... That hit me too, wow. They get so much easier when you've played them more than once. Like, I'm playing through Bloodborne right now on my girlfriend's PlayStation. Ah, that was not my healing. Okay. I will come back to this in a minute. I think we still need to get some more buffs. Like, I could do this, but these scimitars are really weak. So we need to go down into Weeping Peninsula, grab some actual buffing items, and then we can come back and try to kill our guy here. And so, for anyone who doesn't know, which I've noticed in watching myself back, I say that phrase quite a bit, but I just like to make sure that people are aware of what we're doing. So for anyone who doesn't know, we are playing through Almalexia as the warrior. So she is typically depicted with her scimitar, which is Hope's Fire. That's her scimitar, and I'm trying to do the best job that I can at making this into an actual build. So dual scimitars, I swear I've seen art of her somewhere with dual scimitars, but if not, they can just represent both her and her husband's. Yeah, we're gonna ignore Bach. Both her and her husband Nerevar's dual scimitars. But we're gonna try to infuse hers with a lightning infusion because her actual scimitar is lightning infused. And lightning scales with dex in this game, I believe. So the plan is basically to try to make a strength dex build that utilizes lightning. Gamer girlfriend is a keeper, bro. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. Big fan of her. But yeah, she's got a she hasn't played Bloodborne herself, but she's got a PlayStation. And it was on sale the other day, and she was working on homework, and I was like, can I please buy this? Because I haven't played it before because I was on Xbox for so long. So I'm playing through Bloodborne for the first time. I'm not streaming it because it's on her PlayStation. But I've actually had a really easy time with Bloodborne because I played so much Elden Ring, I think, and like coming back to Bloodborne has kind of been a little easier than I thought. And I've played Bloodborne, like, I did play it on my friend's PlayStation. My roommate, he had a PlayStation back in college, so I played it on his PS4, and I beat the Cleric Beast, I beat Father Gascoigne, and then I also beat the Bloodstarved Beast. But that was years ago, so I'm to the point in that game. I'm in the Forbidden Woods. I just beat Vicar Amelia. Took me like 5 tries. And I'm doing a strength build using the Kirk Hammer. And the what is it, like Beast Hunter's Cleaver or something like that? So that's my Bloodborne build. Once a week is insane, no need to go that fast, since there's a limited number of topics, I think. Yeah, that's true, but if I can get them out, I want to get them out, right? I want to do as much work as I can to get them out, so... and I've got a large list of topics that I want to go through. Hopefully the further that I can establish myself, the further topics I can go into as well. We also don't need this Ash of War at all, but I'm committed. How do you feel about Elden Ring lore? Would you make videos on it? I actually do have a video on Elden Ring lore. It's my most popular video on my channel. That's kind of what started me on the path of making lore videos a lot more frequently. So I really like Elden Ring's lore, and I have a video planned that I want to make on Mikola, because I think that there's been some opinions about Mikola that people have had that I don't agree with. I think Mikola is pretty evil. So I want to make a video on that, on the philosophy of Mikola and how it's terrible. Like, Mikola's age of compassion and kindness might come from a genuine place, but I think that it's I don't know, it's like martial law, right? It's like forcing people to it's like forcing people to be kind without showing them to be kind, you know? You're like brainwashing people, basically. Not cool. Hey, I'm here now. I noticed you were influenced by the conversation with chat yesterday for this stream. Well, yeah, so we've done a couple of these as well. But yeah, I definitely want to start streaming more, and I want to get I want to reach affiliate on Twitch as well, which I'm close to. I need to actually check out Twitch chat right now really quick. If anyone's over there, hello. Still can't see. Let's see. Sorry, I know this isn't the most fun thing to watch. Okay, gotten some people. Yeah, sorry for everybody that's on Twitch chat. I can only see YouTube chat and or Twitch chat at once. So let me read up on Twitch chat really quick. She's not famous for her abundance of clothing. No, she is not. We do have some clothing options planned out for Almalexia, though, so we're going to be doing the Rotten Duelist Greaves and the Rotten Duelist Arms. And then we're going to get Freya's mask from the DLC. And I don't think she wears shoes because she's a freak like that, so we're going to be probably going barefoot, but that is the Almalexia drip. If you're cool with it, you can drop your IG or Discord here. My Discord should be linked to my Twitch. So if you just go to my Twitch channel, you should be able to find the link. Okay. She's going to be in her bikini for a while. She is going to be in her bikini for a long time unless we find something better for her to wear. But honestly, the bikini might be might be the closest thing that we've got in the arsenal. Okay, here's a question for you guys. Have you seen... This is not a lore question. Have you seen that they made Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut Edition? Because I was at the store the other day buying groceries, and I wanted some soda. Because I've been trying to, like... I've been trying to drink, like, alcohol less, which, like, I don't drink a ton of alcohol as is, but, like, I was, for a while, not drinking at all, because I got really sick, and then I didn't want to be drinking at all. And so, like, I've slowly been, like, having a couple more drinks when I'm out with friends and stuff, but I don't want to have, like, drinks in the house, you know? So, bought some Dr. Pepper, and he said, yeah, it's alright, kind of tastes like lotion a bit. Yeah, it, it kind of does taste like hand lotion or something. I remember one time when I was working retail, this guy came up to me, and I was working at the cash register, and this dude had... I don't know, he was like mumbling. He came up and he was like... I was like, huh? And he looked at me and he was like, not you. I was like, what? And then he showed me his earbuds and that he was talking on the phone. And I was like, oh, okay. But, like, he approached me as he was talking to somebody else and was, like, making eye contact with me. And then he kept mumbling, and I was like, he's not talking to me. I don't need to respond anymore because he just told me he's not talking to me. And then he, like, kind of yelled at me and he went, "Where's the hand lotion at?" I was like, whoa. It's over there, sir. And he looked so mad. Less alcohol is a W, more money and better health. Yeah, I bought a big pack of water too. Like I'm just trying to be a little bit healthier, especially if I'm going to be working from home more. My girlfriend also has a dog, so it's really nice. Like yesterday, she was playing D&D with one of my friends, and so I watched her dog while they were playing, and I got to take her on a walk, and like it's good to get out of the house. What's more expensive, a nicotine or an alcohol addiction? I'd say probably nicotine, but I've never smoked a cigarette before in my life, so I don't know. But yeah, drinking is also expensive. And it's not to say that soda is better for you or anything, but like, man, back when I beat Disco Elysium, that game made me want to quit drinking forever, dude.
Well, it's been how can I?
This guy sells a lantern. I think we'll just, if I have a soul to pop, I could get 800 right now. Nah, we don't. Usually you need a couple beers to get drunk. You only need one cig to satiate the nicotine addiction. I guess if you're drinking beer to get drunk, then yeah. Like, for me, I usually just like... The one beer that I drink consistently that I like is Angry Orchard. Because I just like cider. So, I like the taste of cider. And I'm not really drinking it to get drunk. It just happens to have that side effect. So... that's kind of where I lie with that. But yeah, if you're drinking beer to get drunk, depending on your size too, that can be really, really expensive and a lot of alcohol to consume. Okay. There are the golden... yeah, golden fireflies are here. Ow. If we want to craft our own... pickled feet. Oh my god, dude. The range on this octopus is crazy. Okay. I guess I'll fight the Erd Tree Avatar over here. How's it going? I try not to drink even if my friends are. Yeah, I've been I've been limiting myself to 2 beers when I'm out with my buddies because I just don't need to get drunk anymore. Like, it's not really something that's enticing to me anymore. Like, it can be fun to, you know, have a couple drinks and like let loose every once in a while, but typically for me 2 doesn't really do much. So we definitely need the multi-hit talisman on this run, if this is going to be the build. I think we're going to just drink the flask really quick. Yeah. I normally just always get on torrent to avoid these things. Ow, we got lucky that that didn't hit. One thing too with my family is we've got like, we definitely got a genetic disposition to drinking. So, I've always been hesitant with that type of stuff. Like, I've never smoked pot before, because a lot of people in my family have had just, like, actually serious problems with it. You beat Elden Ring as Rigard the Brash, yeah. Who's my favorite ESO recurring side character? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a question you have to be kind of in the know to know about. I mean, is Naryu a cop-out answer? I feel like Naryu is, like, the obvious answer. Oh, that was a crazy move. Okay, I couldn't tell you the last time that I fought this character right here, but I felt inspired. Yeah, it's a cop-out. I mean, okay, if we're not saying Naryu, Sotha Sill's technically a recurring character, because he shows up in the Somerset DLC for one mission. Actual recurring character, though. I mean, they're twins, right? The King Lalorian Dinar. Is he in something other than the main quest? The twins, though, the Dunmer twins that are like the Dwemer researchers.
Spoken echo words if you would.
Okay, I did not want to talk to
Tell me.
Melina. Alright, so we got that. The correct answer is Umbacano. Well, is he in ESO, though? I loved how, like, that meme that I posted the other day on my community page, like, that actually melted some people's brains. I could I could see some people, like, had no idea what was going on with that meme. I made that meme ages and ages ago. It is a crusty one. Okay, let's get down to the isolated merchant. I'll buy the lantern now that I've got the souls for it. Calling Dinar a side character is like calling Cadwell a side character. Yeah, but Lalorian Dinar doesn't show up again, right? I think that's more the point. I'll tell you though, when I was a kid and I played ESO for the first time, dude, meeting King Lalorian Dinar was like one of the craziest moments for me. Okay, I'll tell you what we're also going to do, is we are going to go get the Strength Knot tier. I think that'll be helpful. That'll just be this way, if I'm remembering correctly. I normally don't get this thing, but I should, because it's good. And we need to make it to Lane Dell before we can get our Lightning Infusion, unless we find a Lightning Ash ore, which I do know where one is, but it sucks. So we'll go grab that as soon as we can. I do like the Orcish Khajiit and Stibbins, though. Okay, Stibbins is pretty goated. I can't lie. I forgot about Stibbins. Stibbins is kind of like if Haskell had a little bit more life in him. But not much. We're gonna grab Golden Bow really quickly, too. That was me meeting Vivek first time playing Morrowind. Yeah. Meeting Vivek is so cool. Okay, now can I actually beat this guy, or is he going to ruin my life? I think we're fine. I think we'll be okay. Oh, well. That hurt. Oh my god. my god. Okay, alright, alright. I'm sorry I said I could take you out. Jesus Christ. And we totally whiff. Does anyone know off the top of their head where the jump attack talisman is? Because I want to say it's in the cave with Necromancer Garrus. Or, no, the cave with the assassin. And that's like way up in Altus Plateau, I want to say. I don't remember the exact spot. Yeah, Razumdar is a good side character and a main character, I agree. Okay, so for our physic, charge attack power, I don't think we're actually going to use that too much. We'll do the strength knot tier and the spiked crack, or no, strength knot and then opaline bubble. And if this is not enough, I don't know what will be. I'm an Elden Ring scrub, that's okay. Oh, I forgot to put Golden Bow on. I do things way too fast, man. I need to give myself a second to think. I feel like that was always my problem in Legends. Not giving myself enough time to think. I did that in chess today. I was playing chess with some guy online, and I was like handedly beating him. And then I made a really stupid move. Because the best time to play chess is on the toilet, I'll tell you what. Ow. Okay, he probably goes phase 2. Thou art of passing skill.
Warrior blood must
Truly running in thy veins.
tarnished.
This dude. Ow! He hit me so bad. I'm in the Christopher Walken. Ow! Oh, give me the stance break, please. I'm begging. I'm begging for it. Oh. Bro. I bet his stance pressure decayed already. Okay, let's just back up for a quick sec. Ow. There we go. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I also could have gotten Radagon's Source Seal, but I was not thinking about that. Instant gratification is making our patience sub-zero. It's even worse with the little ones. Yeah. Pete Holmes actually has a good little, like, comedy... I never want to call him bits, but, like, he's got a good point that he makes about, like... So, you know, back before the internet was just in your pocket at all times, if you had a question, you actually had to, like, ask people and, like, go to the library and do research. And nowadays, like, if you have a question, you can just reach into your pocket and figure the answer out in, like, 2 seconds, most of the time. Okay, let's go get Radagon's Source Seal, and we can pick up a couple extra buffs on the way over there, and then we'll go fight Godric next. I also should level up. I think we're going to want I mean, if we're going to go strength build, we want more strength, and then we want a little bit more health, too. So this will be fine for now. And I'm glad we have the high dex to start, because we're going to need... high strength when we pivot into that. Which, it's interesting, because that's what we did with the Dagoth build as well. We took dex weapons, and then we turned them into strength weapons. There is the strength talisman up here as well, which does a little bit of what Radagon's is going to do. So we could go grab that, maybe for later. I don't know. I feel like if I go in there, I'm going to get my shit rocked, though, but let's try it. Given Razumdar gets laid a lot, Rigard is the second most, I feel. That one guy from the Daggerfall starter zone is making his exploits up. Make him seem cooler. You can't convince me otherwise. The Daggerfall starter zone? Dude, So, okay, I'm very experienced with the Ebonheart Pact starter zone, because that was, like... That was my favorite of the... Oh, wow. That was my favorite of the alliances. Sheesh. Yeah, Ebonheart was my favorite of the alliances, and, oh my god, ow. Oh! Shit, I think we landed. That was quick, though. But we're down in the pit with, with the lion. Not good. Okay, well, let's at least grab this rune arc, if we can. Oh, he's just gonna let us leave. Thanks, man. Very kind of you. Alright. Now I need to get in this chest without getting harassed. Ah! Got it. Got it, got it, got it. And I think we can get off the side here. Nope. Let's see. Here, right? Yeah, okay. Down. Oh. Okay. Ow. Oh my god. Ugh. Doesn't Almalexia only use one blade in lore, Hopespire? I believe she does only use Hopespire in lore, but I swear I've seen art with her holding two crossed blades. But I'm not sure. Okay. I don't really need those souls. We'll just leave. Almalexia is screaming like an Enwa. True. Okay. What is your opinion on the Ebonheart Pact? To me, it never made sense that those races would work together. It really doesn't make sense. It really makes sense for geographical purposes, and that's it. If you look into the lore more of, like, why they're working together, it was that the Akaviri were invading, the Kamal Akaviri were invading, and the Argonians, the Dunmer, and the Nords joined forces to stop them, and they created the Ebonheart Pact. If I'm remembering all my lore correctly, they created the Ebonheart Pact kind of as a reaction to that. But it doesn't really make sense that it would be sustainable long-term, especially when, like, the Dunmer are still participating in a slave trade of Argonians, and the Nords and Dunmer have, like, ancient beef that goes back to, like, the War of the First Council. So, yeah, it never really made a lot of sense. Those alliances are purely there for their geographical connections. Ebonheart Pact is less about the races collaborating and more about the securing regional autonomy for all the other provinces. Yeah. Most unrealistic thing about Ebonheart Pact is the Akaviri invasion. It's just there for a better flashy reason for them to work together. Yeah, it's true. Okay, Ash of War. This is what I've been meaning to do. We need to put on Golden Vow. Just keep it standard infused. And that's fine. And then we'll go back to the Third Church of Marika, so that way we can go back to the portal that's here, and then we can get to Dragon Barrow. So we're still kind of in the setup phase. You know, another thing that I'll say about this coconut Dr. Pepper is that I really like coconut flavor, so I'm kind of vibing with it, but I also do agree it does taste like hand lotion. But I'm also just the type of guy to drink hand lotion, I guess. Almalexia technically Almalexia technically outlawed the trade of Argonian slaves for the length of the pact. Yeah, but also House, what is it, House Drez and Telvanni both basically were like, yeah, we're not joining that? Or was it just House Drez? Okay, now I did learn recently how to do this, and you guys will know what I'm talking about. The glitch where you can kill this dragon. I learned how to do that, so I want to see if I can pull it off. I think you just have to draw his aggro, run away. Telvanni didn't join, I think Drez actually did. Okay. Yeah, because there's the Telvanni have slaves on in the DLC, if you go to Sadrith Mora, there's a whole quest line about the Argonian slaves that are there. Okay, so you have to go, like, behind this tree, I think? Almalexia was the Morrowind representative, though she didn't make joining the pact a legal requirement for all houses, pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, he's coming. Then you just stand here. And then he starts to fly at you, right? So you need to be a little bit closer. Oh, hey, there's a spot. I must be not doing this right. Let me walk a little bit closer. Oh. Okay. Oh, alright. I think we just need to go this way. Oh! Come on. Oh, man! Come on. Oh, there we go. Hey! This is the first time I've actually done this glitch. Rest in peace, Bozo. Thanks for the money. Okay, so we'll do that, and then we will level up. We want more Vig, probably 30, and then... Okay, we'll go down to like 26, so I want more endurance, but I want more of everything, dude. Just want more. Let's get more strength. I should really also get the whetstone that allows me to do the heavy infusion from Stormhold Castle. So we'll go do that after we get the Radagon's Sourceal and the other piece of the Dectus Medallion, which I think we have the first piece. Yeah, we got Dectus left from Fort Height. Now, Olaf, One-Eye defeated Numinex. It's gotta be. I mean, you could you could theoretically fill in the blanks there on that Numinex text, right? Let's go over here really quickly, too. Pick up some of these runes. And, if we need to, we should unlock this as well. Just in case we need the extra runes later on. You would not believe your eye with glintstone firefly. Yeah, the Ebonheart Pact and... I don't know, like, the Ebonheart Pact is probably the least plausible. Like, I have no problem, actually, with the first Aldmeri Dominion forming. I think that that actually makes quite a bit of sense. And the Daggerfall Covenant, I need to look into that a little bit more, because I forget the exact reason that they formed. But, yeah, the Ebonheart Pact by far makes the least amount of sense. Do we think the Three Banners War were necessary for the MMO mechanically? Because they had to have a reason to force it so hard? I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of different ways that you could have made an MMO. That's just the way that they decided to do it. Like, realistically, Cyrodiil didn't have to be 3 factions, right? It could have been... it could have been independent factions or something like that, with just, like, kind of a free-for-all style in Cyrodiil. Really, I'm upset that they made Cyrodiil the PvP zone, because it makes it so that way it took us so long to get, like, actual... Well, I guess we got the Gold Coast pretty quickly, and that was, like, a Cyrodiil zone that you could explore. But, I don't know, like, Coral is just part of the PvP zone, Bruma is part of the PvP zone, and they're, like, really... they're really boring, I hate to say. But there's not a lot to do in the Cyrodiil PvE parts of the PvP zone. And specifically with, like, Bruma, Bruma's, like, destroyed. Coral's got a big, like, lava river running through it. Not a Foyata, but something similar. And, I don't know, like, they're not scaled very well. And by that I mean the scale of the cities is not scaled super well. From those early zones, because they didn't have a great sense of scale, I don't think. In response to your recent post, I don't think Daedra not joining the Aedra in the Discord call for the class project should be exempt from them being gods. I agree. I do want to make a video on Daedra not being gods, because you'll see, I think it was about 25% of people said that the Daedra are not gods. And I think a lot of that comes from them not being divines, and the divines are seen as more godly. And specifically, like, if you're a Christian, right? And maybe some of you in chat are, I don't know. But, like, if you're a Christian, you're probably going to view you're probably going to view things from more of like a angels and demons type perspective with the Daedra. And so, because they're called like the demon princes, right? And so a lot of that is definitely like, I feel like Christianity has influenced a lot of people's perception on the Daedra, and in part that is Bethesda's fault for calling them demons in the early development, but like that was way before Daedra were even fleshed out. And so, yeah, Hades wasn't a god. Yeah, it's a very similar concept, yeah, to saying that type stuff. I said yes, they're gods, but I only said yes because you use small g in gods. Well, right. So I don't think that there is like, I mean, there's the godhead as a concept, and like Anu and Padme and larger concept type gods like Sithis. You know, I mean Padme, but Sithis, whatever interpretation you want to call them. So there are larger scale deities that represent sort of like fundamental building blocks, kind of like in Greek mythology, you have like Gaia, right? And you have Uranus, and then you have or Uranus, whatever you want to call him, and then you have Nyx. That these are like concepts of like the night and the darkness. And like Tartarus is a god, but he's also like just a pit. Gaia is a god, but she's also the earth, right? Like just big concept gods. And then you have the smaller gods that walk around. So I would say the Daedra are pretty firmly gods because they're, I mean, they have all the powers of a god. So it's kind of like what makes them different, I guess. To me, the Daggerfall Covenant always made sense, and the Aldmeri Dominion made sense too. Yeah, I guess I need to look more into the Daggerfall Covenant, because I honestly couldn't tell you how they formed. I know that it had something to do with High King Emmerich forming an alliance with the Red Guards, but I don't remember specifics at the moment, to be honest with you. Capital G is only for monotheistic gods. Right, yeah, capital G god would only be if you're like in a religion that only recognizes one god, then you would just call that god God, or like Allah, right? Capital A. And if you're using a god's first name, or like, I guess first name is silly, but if you're using a god's like name that they wish to be called, then yeah, you would capitalize that name, but... Okay, I think we got everything we need from here. Radagon's Source Seal is going to be pretty helpful. Although, I mean, it makes us take like 15% more damage, but I don't even care. God's government name, yeah. I mean, I guess that's just Yahweh. I don't know about y'all, but my ESO character beat the shit out of Molag Bal, Nocturnal, and Dagon. Barbas too. Yeah, the Vestige really, in terms of like feats, the Vestige I think has the most feats on any other Elder Scrolls character by a long shot.
You there? Come over. What's it to you? Step back, you wretched tarnished.
Now, what about the Skull Allmaker? Does he get a big G? Yeah, the Allmaker is a really weird concept. They're one of the only monotheistic cults in, Oh! I didn't tell him to open the door. I'm a fool. We gotta go the long way around. Get so sidetracked talking about metaphysics and godhood and stuff. Ironically, Anu and Padme feels less like gods. They're apparently not doing much of anything anymore. Yeah, Anu and Padme are really like there for creation myths, and then they just stop doing anything. But that's because like Anu and Padme made spirits to explore themselves, right? So Anu's spirit was Oriel, and Padme's spirit was Lorcan. And so they're kind of like Like, Anu and Padme, I don't know that they even can do much, you know? Wow. I actually killed one of the birds. Redguards and Bretons bond over their hatred of orcs. Statist orcs joined because Emmerich promised them a land without people for a people without a land. There were already people there for millennia. Oh, ah! Okay, ow. The Emmerich Declaration of 1917. How's it going, Nefarious Man? Well, now this door won't close on us, at least. Ow. Take the hit. Get the hell out. Orsinium is a bit on the nose with its allegory, TBH. Oh, 100%. But that's another one of those things where it's like people say that there's no, like, you know, just stop projecting real-world stuff onto Elder Scrolls, bro. It's like, sorry, my guy. The Elder Scrolls was based off of real-world stuff. Oh, I forgot he grabs you. That was just rude as hell. Hi, can't decide what race to play. Could you choose and I will go with it, please? Oh, you know what okay, so I was talking about my D&D characters in my D&D campaign. I think you should play an orc. I've been having a lot of fun with orcs recently. Okay, it's honestly for the best that we went this way. Is Orsinium like the Jerusalem of Tess or what? I mean, kinda, yeah. Oh, wait, the Claw Talisman is up there. I had a brain blast. How do you get up that way again? Oh, over on the downed thing. Yeah, I think the Claw Talisman is up here. If not, there's some kind of talisman. Oh. He said as nothing damaged him. Okay, now we're in search of a ladder. Ah, it's right in front of my face. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got on the ladder. I'm sorry I got on the ladder. I'm sorry I got on the ladder. Okay, alright. Relax. Jesus Christ. Dareloth, I took your idea and I'm setting my next TTRPG in Tamriel. Nice. I'm writing my own Test 6 since I know the real thing will be a disappointment. Yeah, I will be making a video at some point soon about the campaign that I'm running and all of the stuff that I did and the creative liberties that I took in the creation of my campaign. But I'll tell you, Atribus Mead plays a big part in my campaign. He's a very important character in my campaign. We've also got some stuff going on with the Mazatun ruins in that were introduced in ESO in the, forget what the DLC's called, but it's like Shadow of the Hist. Something to do with the Mazatun ruins that were introduced there. I've got in my campaign. We've got some stuff going on right now with Cheydinhal. So my players are in Cheydinhal at the moment. And they are kind of investigating some stuff that's been going on with some murders in town, which is... Okay, so Cheydinhal in my campaign right now. I gotta give a little bit of backstory, but Cheydinhal in my campaign, it's 4th era, year 68. So what's gone on is a lot of migration has happened from the Red Year. And the Count in charge of Cheydinhal is actually Farwill Indaris, who you guys will remember from Oblivion, is the Dunmer son of Count, I think it's Andel Indaris is his father. You have to rescue him from the Oblivion portal. Yes, after Umbriel, about 20-some years after Umbriel. So, my campaign starts basically with the death of Titus Mead. And people are looking for Atribus to become the next heir. Atribus is like 40 years old, because Titus Mead lives to be like 100 years old in my campaign. So that's kind of the impetus of the campaign, is looking for what's going on with Atribus. Now, Atribus is an avid member of the, or not member, he's kind of an honorary member, but he is a big proponent of killing Daedra. He does not like Daedra after the events that happened to him on Umbriel. So he's spent a lot of his life crusading with the people to take out Daedra. And so he's partnered with the Vigilance of Stendarr, and the home base kind of the Vigilance of Stendarr have moved into his hometown of Ione. So Ione's like a fortified base that's kind of like the center of Daedra hunting within Tamriel, and Atribus is sort of their chief sponsor. Anyway, in Cheydinhal, so Farwill Indaris took a similar stance after what happened to him in the Oblivion portal, and he has become a good leader of the people in Cheydinhal. A big thing that happened with him in my campaign is that, like, his father... So if you know anything about the Indaris family, they're pretty corrupt, or at least it's implied that they're corrupt in Oblivion. But he was just a kid at the time of Oblivion, and he's, like, super rude to you and stuff, but I would like to think that the stuff that happened to him in Oblivion kind of changed his perspective. And he basically helps oust his dad as a corrupt leader, and then he takes over from there. And he's been the Count for, like, a while, because he's a Dark Elf. So within the city, there's kind of this thing that's been going on with the refugees coming in from Morrowind. Count Indaris is a Dark Elf himself, so he has some sympathies for the Dark Elf plight. And, oh man, thought I could make it in there. He has some sympathies for the Dark Elf plight, and has allowed a lot of Cheydinhal to actually be transformed into kind of like a little pocket of Morrowind. So they've got like a corner club there that's called, I forget what I called it exactly, but they've got a corner club there. They've got like a representative of House Hlalu in there as well. And House Hlalu's kind of made some... Count Indaris is a Dark Elf himself. Yes, he is. Couldn't have known. Yeah, so... anyway, the Morag Tong are kind of like trying to make a resurgence now that they've got a little bit of a foothold in Cheydinhal, and they're running into problems with the Dark Brotherhood, who obviously have a pretty big hold in Cheydinhal. Do we survive this? We do. There is a Cheydinhal Inn mentioned in the Infernal City. Is it the same one? No. No, because everything that I've got in my campaign is kind of like scaled up. So it's not meant to be the same one, but I suppose it could be. But I was not thinking of that when I was making the inn. But yeah, I've got several characters from the Dark Brotherhood down that are like doing stuff within the city, and my players just got to Cheydon Hall, and they are trying to figure out what's going on, stuff to do, and we're going to be introducing 2 new players tomorrow. Oops. Okay, I need to go back to the round table really quickly. I had a campaign that started in Leyawiin right after the Great War. Nice. My campaign actually also kind of started in Leyawiin, but it started on a boat ride with my players all arriving in Leyawiin, and they worked their way up to Water's Edge. They made their way into... from Water's Edge, they made it to Pell's Gate, and then from Pell's Gate, they made it to Ione. And then since Ione, they made it to the Imperial City, and then they were transported to the Shivering Isles for a bit, which was really fun. And they have recently been dealing with a cult of Daedra worshippers. So yeah, it's been a good time. I'd love a Tiber Wars campaign. That'd be really cool.
You're new, no matter how you.
Okay. So we'll do the... I guess we could do Keen Infusion. Right now we're 106 plus 27. I think this works out to be a little bit better. I'll do that on both of them.
Back all no matter.
Oh, but you're not an Imperial. That's a different story. Okay, we need to upgrade our swords as well.
Back all no matter.
Yeah, we don't really have the stuff to upgrade this at the moment, but we'll just make both of these a +1. And then... So rather than fighting Godric right now, we can actually skip Stormhold, and we can go into Altus, because we have the Dectus Medallion. So I think that's the plan, is we're going to go straight into Altus Plateau. We're going to try to get this Lightning Infusion just to make the build a little bit more, like, online. And let me just check the jumping attacks now that we've got our... Okay. This is not a great guy to test this on. Okay. They'll be good if I can hit all my shots with them. Sorry if I missed it, but what's your favorite Elder Scrolls race? I think that the Imperials, the Argonians, and the Dunmer have the most interesting lore out of anybody. The Nords have been slowly creeping up my list for a while. I really like the Orcs as well. There's really not a ton that I dislike. I think that the Khajiit have been handled poorly. But I've been coming around to the Khajiit a little bit more. I used to be a staunch Khajiit hater, but I've been coming around to them a bit more. I just think that there's some some stuff with them just like... I don't know. I don't like them being treated too feline, you know? And like they're actual cats is just very weird to me. So I think they've been handled oddly. Where is Redguard Remastered? Yeah, they'll have to get right on that. I can't believe we got Oblivion Remastered before Redguard Remastered. Nords and Morrowind feel so different. I mean, when you see them, you really think, Wow, what a chud. You're so real for that, Geralt. One thing I've been debating with myself is whether to have someone in my party, or the party collectively, to be the Hunding. Player agency versus helping them feel connected to the plot and world. So one thing that I did with my players to make sure that they felt connected to the world was I made them come up with background characters. So if you guys have watched any Dimension 20, I'm a big fan of Dimension 20. And if you guys have watched like Fantasy High, all the characters in Fantasy High have parents, right? And that really helps connect them and ground them to the world. So when I told my players to come up with characters that were already in the world, they jumped right on that, and they thought that was really fun. So we've gotten a lot of good backstory out of my characters from having them come up with characters that know them. So it doesn't have to be family members necessarily, but like, okay, so we just had in Cheydinhal, one of my player characters is from the Ancestor Moth Temple. And he was like, hey, I probably only know stuff about Cheydinhal because that's the closest town. So, like, would you be fine if I came up with some NPCs that are in Cheydinhal for my character to have known? I was like, perfect. So now that they're in Cheydinhal, there's a character that I got to introduce that was an old orc woman, like in her 60s, that owned basically like a pawn shop with a bunch of fun items in it. And it was like a treasure hunter's emporium with a bunch of fun stuff. So they came in and they basically like wheeled and dealed with her and bartered for some fun items. So I gave one of my players, and one rule that I've been doing is I'm only coming up with homebrew items. So I haven't been looking on like the 5e wiki for items or anything. I've been purely coming up with my own because it's so much fun for me. So one of the items that I came up with for my paladin, got a Nord paladin in the group who really likes warhammers. He's got 7 intelligence. He really likes warhammers. So I came up with a hammer called the Square Hammer for him, which is it's a big hammer with basically like a Minecraft block-sized square at the end of it. But each face of the square has a different d4 of elemental damage. So he has to tell me which side he's hit an enemy with on his hammer, and it will do that d4 of damage. So like if he spins it to hit an enemy with the cold side, it'll do a d4 of cold damage type thing. So that was one of the items I came up with. I gave another one of my players Dreg Shell armor, but it was like a light armor variant of the Dreg Shell armor. And it gives him resistance to poison, because that's an effect that the Dreg have. So just stuff like that I've been coming up with for my players. Dunmer are my favorite. The idea that they're basically Chimer with ash skin and Eye of Fire was always cool. I was just looking up stuff for them for my Almalexia video. So this Almalexia video has been honestly kind of disjointed in a way that the Sothis Sil video was... I feel like the Sothis Sil video had a very clear, this is Sothis Sil's beginnings, this is him as a god, here's his philosophy, and this is what happened to him. And I really like that video. I think, on some days, I think that's the best video I've ever made. I really like that one. And anyway, with the Almalexia video, though, I'm trying to have some flow like that, where it's like, okay, here's what she did before she ascended to godhood, but we don't really know that. Like, a lot of her early life is just not even written. And then we've also got... Oops. I forgot how to close out of the game. We've also then got... what am I saying? Yeah, her early life we know almost nothing about. It all comes from esoteric sources, like it comes from the 36 lessons, which I don't think should be taken seriously for historical stuff. I know that I have used the 36 lessons to talk about metaphysical stuff before, because that's what I think they're there for. They're religious scripture texts that are there to explain kind of metaphysics and weird shit and it's all basically allegory and poetry. That's my takeaway from it. But there's some stuff that we can learn from the 36 sermons, but not all of it is to be taken literally, right? So with that in mind, pretty much the only things that I think we can really know about Almalexia are that she was a queen by the time that she met Nerevar and Sothisil and Vivec, and she potentially was doing some stuff with a place called the Orphanage, but that was basically cut content. And, I mean, there's one mention to it, but it's, again, in the sermons, and it's not fleshed out. All of her stuff is not fleshed out. Even the story about her being born on Mount Asinarbibi, or however you say it, that story, what's the point of that story? That story is to connect Almalexia to Boethia, maybe? But it really doesn't go much further than that, and it's not even really mentioned anywhere outside of the Elder Scrolls 3. I don't think it's in any books or anything like that either. It's just like... So, by the way, Almalexia was born to the 99 lovers of Boethia on the mountain, overseen by Molag Bal. And I'm struggling to figure out why that's even important to mention, because it really doesn't go anywhere. Don't take Vivec serious, but respect Riemann. Ow. Riemann is another liar to me. Well, Riemann, I don't think Riemann specifically wrote any of the things that Riemann is proclaimed to have done, right? Like, if you read, like, the Riemanada, like, I don't think that Riemann himself wrote that. But I don't know. Riemann is another figure that I wanted to do more of a deep dive on Riemann when we talked about the Akaviri Potentate, and when we talked about the Seichi and stuff, but I felt like there wasn't a lot to talk about in terms of Riemann the man. It's really a lot more of like Riemann as a figure that we hear about. Her birth marker makes me laugh because it's just fully in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah, it's surrounded by a couple rocks and stuff, but it's just like, I don't know, it feels to me like, okay, here's my whole thing, right? This is my crackpot. I guess it's not even that crackpot, but I think that the Tribunal were just normal-ass people who ascended to godhood, and then after they ascended to godhood, they did a lot of hard work to make people believe in their lie that they were gods. Now, the one who did the best job at this is Almalexia, and this follows the same pattern of the Tribunal, where Almalexia does something, Sothisil does the opposite, and then Vivec does something in the middle. So Almalexia scrubbed her past life so much so that we know almost nothing about her other than mythology. And we don't know anything of her life before she was a queen. Because that's what's most important to her, is being queen and being royalty and being this mother figure to Morrowind. She loves the fact that she is Mother Morrowind. It's very, very important to her, and it's one of the most consistent through lines of her character. So what did she do? She basically scrubbed all evidence of her early life. There is no real childhood story of Almalexia growing up. Even in her book, The Homilies of Almalexia, she uses Vivec and Sothisil as children, with Sothisil and the Scrib. She uses Sothisil as a child instead of herself. So, Almalexia did a very good job at scrubbing her previous self from the history books. Vivec almost entirely creates a fictional version of himself from conception to rise of godhood. That's all through allegory and whatever, but we have hints of him being a normal person, being the son of a Nechiman, stuff like that. There's foundational stuff that's like, oh, Vivec was a real person before he ascended to godhood, and this is him trying to reshape his image through all this bullshit, where it's like, oh, I was actually born from Vivec and Sothisil, but they found a woman to impregnate, and then I became an egg, and when I got introduced to them, I came out of the egg. And it's like, it's all bullshit. None of it's true, if you ask me. None of it whatsoever. In terms of historical stuff. Now, you talk about allegory, that's a fully different thing. But, so you have Almalexia scrubbed herself from the history books. Vivek uses the history books to tell a lie. Sotha Sil fully is like, hey, I used to live at Ald Sotha. Sotha Sil is that's my legal ass name. I'm from House Sotha. I had a sister, her name is Sotha Null. I was raised over here. That dude doesn't give a shit. He doesn't even call himself a god. He's like, all right, we killed Nerevar. I feel bad about it, but I gotta get to work. I gotta make the most out of this murder. So he basically just goes and starts work on the Clockwork City. Now, it's said that he did appear to people for a while to like try to help them through the crisis of everything. Yes, he's the only one who kept the Dunmer skin. Yep, but you see this thing, and I'm going to talk about this in my video, where these are the patterns that we see with the Tribunal always, where one of them does something. So Almalexia will do something. Sotha Sil does the opposite. Vivek bridges the path. And it's very well done. It's probably the best thing about the Tribunal is the consistency with which they're able to keep that writing. Okay, so where did I want to go from there? So yeah, basically Almalexia just doesn't have anything about her previous life because I think she worked very hard to remove that stuff. Now, I think that's the lore reason that we can come up with. I think genuinely the actual reason is that a lot of content got cut, and also there's a lot of sexist undertones with Almalexia's writing. Specifically, Kirkbride calls her like a bitch and a whore, and she's just like reflected in a very negative light. But then you have like Kirkbride coming out later and saying that he regretted how Almalexia of the group is the one to become crazy, which is a very like, you know, kind of sexist interpretation of women. That like, of course, she's the one who goes crazy, right? Because she's the woman. She's the one who's mentally unstable and stuff. And you have like, if we're talking about like the Trinity again, Almalexia is the mother, Sotha Sil would then be the father, and Vivek is the son. But Almalexia is the one who's attributed with motherhood. Sotha Sil, this is one of the things that's not really followed through. Sotha Sil, if he's a dad in this Trinity, he's a deadbeat dad. Because Almalexia works very hard, from what we know about her, not from what we see, but from what we hear, that she works very hard to be Mother Morrowind. She's very kind, compassionate, benevolent. By the time we see her in Elder Scrolls 3, she's fucking batshit insane. So we never get to see this side of her, but that's the side that is supposed to have existed. ESO also does a horrible, terrible, no good, very bad job of this. But Almalexia is supposed to be very benevolent, and she's supposed to kind of embody this motherhood, and that's what she's fostered. Kirkbride said that she is born from his fear of evil mothers, right? So then that would imply that Sotha Sil, as her opposite, would be the father, right? And I guess it kind of is a little bit reminiscent still, because as a father, if Almalexia is a good mother, Sotha Sil is a terrible father, where he abandons his people after a while, and he goes off to do his own creation. Bash, Sotha Sil is the father who works so hard for his children while they think he doesn't care about them. You know what? That's actually an interesting thing. But yeah, Brandon, more what I was going to say is that he's the father of the Clockwork City. He basically devotes his entire self to his child, which is now the Clockwork City. And this would leave Vivek in a weird state, though, because Vivek is supposed to be their child. If you read the sermons, he proclaims that he's the metaphorical child of Almalexia and Sotha Sil. And so I don't really know where Vivek falls as the child here in this union, but it's one of the like faultier connections between the three, I think. Because my main point here, I guess, that I'm trying to get across is that because Almalexia is a woman, they planted motherhood on her, And if that was supposed to be a consistent through line, there's no evidence that Sothasil is supposed to be a father other than the stuff that we can project onto him. But he doesn't, like, exhibit fatherhood in the same way that Almalexia exhibits motherhood. Where Almalexia is very much in your face, and Sothasil you kind of have to do some imagining. Too emotional to be empowered. Yeah, you'd probably hear that line a bit. But I think that also comes from when Morrowind was written. It was 2001. There were definitely sexist undertones throughout, and you can see it and you can feel it. Sothasil, frankly, does a lot of defensive work for the entire Mundus. He does. Yeah, I mean, like, the Cold Harbor Compact is really good, and his work in Elder Scrolls Online with, like, combating the Daedra and stuff. But more what I mean is that, like, you have to kind of interpret it in the lens of fatherhood, whereas Almalexia comes out and she's like, I am mommy, where Sothasil doesn't do that. Devaith Fear or Manamarco, who's the most powerful? I'd say Manamarco because he ascended to godhood. IDK, I think Vivek is pretty crazy too. Vivek is extraordinarily crazy. But he's crazy in a, like, I've ascended to godhood and I'm trying to be quirky and crazy on purpose type way, I think. Historian Legends really shows you how much he cared about Nirn. Well, and I think that's the big thing too, is that, like, so Almalexia likes being a mother. It's, again, a huge part of her character, and part of her character that was founded upon, is her motherhood and her enjoyment of being a motherhood, or her enjoyment of being a mother. But what a lot of people will tell you too is that Almalexia, as a mother, she, like, kind of gets empty nest syndrome from losing her power, and her power is what allows her to be a leader for the people of Morrowind. And without her power, she loses her ability to be a leader. And then you kind of find that what Almalexia liked all along was not necessarily being a mother, but but kind of the power that came along with that. And so it's an interesting take on that character. Where it's like, how much did she actually care about the people of Morrowind, and how much was she doing it for herself? It's sort of like how Walter White, throughout all of Breaking Bad, will keep telling you, like, I'm doing this for my family. And then at the end, he's like, sorry, spoilers for Breaking Bad, but at the end, he's like, no, I did it because I liked it. That's kind of the vibe that I get from Almalexia. He definitely views Magnus and the Aedra as peers, since he views his work in the Clockwork City as completing the Mundus. Yeah, he's on his own crazy pet project over there. I've never played Elden Ring. Where in the map are we right now? So I took a lift to get up here. We are way up in this part of the map. Personally, I think Ashlander account of the Battle of Red Mountain is the truth. I think so too, but I also think that there was likely a dragon break that occurred. The Red Moment is what we call it. So whatever the true truth is, I don't know. But yeah, I think the Ashlander account is probably the closest to the truth. Although I do think that people are very quick to dismiss Vivek's accounts at Red Mountain just because he's Vivek. But really, I don't see a lot of stuff in that account that can't be true, other than his omission of what really happened to Nerevar. And really, like, is it Sermon 36 that shows the foul murder in the text itself? That is just such a huge admission of guilt. And like, when you take, oh god, Sermon 28 or whatever it is, the Sermon of the Numbers, where it's like he did not do this of his own free will. He killed the Hortator and blah blah blah. Like whatever the fuck he says, Vivek clearly killed Nerevar. And Vivek also feels bad about it, but like not in the same way that Sotha Sil feels really bad about it, and Vivek is like, I feel bad about it and I'm going to write about it. That's his method of feeling bad about it. Sotha Sil's like, I feel bad about it and I need to do the best with this bad decision that I made. Because he knows morally that it's wrong, what he did. But also, he's like, if you take the accounts, Sotha Sil basically saw that the Dunmer could do such good for Morrowind if they killed Nerevar and used the tools. That's the narrative. I forget where it is exactly, but that narrative appears somewhere. And so it's like, okay, he did this bad thing to do a good thing, but I don't know if that account is true. And it's also a big case of, do the ends justify the means? And you really have to ask yourself that question when you're playing through the game. Vivek is a mystery to me, though. Is he narcissistic and self-interested, or is he a paragon of virtue like we read in the sermons? I think he's probably both. That would also mean Nerevar was actually low-key ridiculously OP in life, considering they had to poison him. Nerevar, yeah, well, it says they use poison candles, poison robes, and poison something else. I don't know how literally we're supposed to interpret poison. Because then you have the foul murder actual image, and it's just Vivek stabbing him in the back with a spear. We have no reason to believe that the Ashlanders would lie, frankly. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't Dragon Break mean that everything is true at once? It kind of does. Like, it basically means that all events simultaneously happen, so some outcome happens that's like a fusion of all other events. That's why, like, in the Daggerfall Dragon Break, the Iliac Bay Dragon Break, it is just the, 4 or 5 kingdoms that come out at the end instead of every kingdom coming out at the end. It's like Sentinel, Wayrest, all those kingdoms form instead of like a million different sub-kingdoms. Get 2 mana Marcos. That is also the theory. You get 2 mana Marcos from that. One that ascended, and then one that became the frumpy little man that we see in Oblivion. Okay, Lightning Ram is the incantation that I needed to get a Lightning Infusion. We're now going to go all the way back to Shornhelm. Hello, how's it going, Gummy Worm? Or Shornhelm. I'm Stormveil. I'm talking about ESO stuff now. Nerevar was a warrior priest, right? Of course he was OP. Nerevar was the captain of a caravan captain. Before he became Induril Nerevar. Pretty sure the foul murder image is metaphorical. I really doubt they actually sliced his face and feet off. Yeah, but a lot of stuff that Kirkbride says is super weird too, so I don't know. Like, what people choose to interpret as, like, real and metaphorical is always astounding to me, because I feel like a lot of what he says is not meant to be taken literally, but then he'll say it like it's meant to be taken literally. And I think really, at the end of the day, Kirkbride just wanted to be working on a stranger thing entirely that Elder Scrolls wouldn't quite allow him to do. So I would like to see Kirkbride, like, make something his own. Because as much as Elder Scrolls, like, as much as he's done for Elder Scrolls, it's not just his. Is it a hot take that I like Kirkbride's weird, trippy shit? I also like Kirkbride's weird, trippy shit, but I also think that he is a real bastard when it comes to explaining himself, and it really makes me think that he doesn't have a reason for a lot of the stuff that he does. Where, like, if I got on my computer right now, I feel like I could write something very similar to Kirkbride's stuff. To some of his stuff. Not, I'm gonna say right now, like, he's got some amazing writing, and, like, I was just praising the Tribunal and everything. But also you have stuff like he'd just be saying shit sometimes, you know? And I'm like, dude, it kind of feels like when you're writing a project and you're like looking for the word count. Sometimes I feel like that's what he's doing. ESO handled Devaith so poorly. Yeah, you know, as I've gotten older, the more I look at ESO and I'm like, damn, that shit was kind of ass, but also, like, kind of cool. It's really tough. Especially when it comes to the Clockwork City, because I really don't like the Clockwork City as I've gotten older as a whole package. But I really like the Sotha Sil parts of it. Saw on his Reddit that Kirkbride is really into Warhammer painting right now. That was like, I actually was just looking at that, funnily enough, and that was a couple years ago at this point. If you go onto his Instagram, his last post is from like years ago. Also, an important part to note about Kirkbride is that he has since come out and basically said, like, hey, sorry, I was in a really bad space when I was writing some of the old shit that I wrote, and I apologize for, like, a lot of shit that I said. I wish I could find the post, but yeah, he's come out and, like, said, hey, I wrote some really fucked up and weird stuff. So, can at least appreciate that.
Welcome. I teach and explore so that one day ensuring. By the way, you do most tarnish. You are well. May the golden order shine through you.
Well, let's see if we can take Godric. Okay, I'm gonna take off the Radagon stuff. I'll let this cutscene ride. I need to go get some water really quick. Hopefully I'll be back in time.
Mighty dragon, thou'rt a true-born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well. A lowly tarnished. Playing as a lord. I command thee, kneel! I am the lord of all that is golden.
Okay, just got back. Good timing. Oh, oops. Okay. Oh, that was way too early. Okay, I gotta get my rhythm. Okay, I just run away from this one usually. Such a bastard. Oh, wow. Thanks. Godric is such a fucking dweeb. He is. Don't want to get hit by his axe. Let's go for a... I fucking love that scream every time, dude. It's so good. Akatusk and Lig come to mind. Yeah, the Akatusk stuff, it feels like he was just trying to add something interesting, and it got very muddled.
Lend me thy strength.
It's a big part of why I'm so against adding Athelia as a concept, because there's so much in Elder Scrolls that's kind of underdeveloped. We're gonna skip this. But there's so much in Elder Scrolls that's kind of underdeveloped. Oh, hey. Immediate stance break. Ow. Oh. He's throwing? Godric, you threw it away, dude. Well, I can't see, so that's not fair. There's a tombstone there. Bro. No way! No way! No way! Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Bro. Are you kidding me? Godric. You can't make me look like a fucking idiot. Godric out here making me look stupid. Alright, come on. Enough of this. Enough of you. Oh, and this one. This is the one I like to just run away from. I don't have any time for Godric and his stupid ass. I know, I can't believe I let this absolute dumbass get me at the last minute. I think we can build up his stance pressure a little bit if we do that first. Oh, that's slightly delayed. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that was a complete no-hit. At least as far as phase 1 goes. It says Bloodborne is easy, dies to Godric. Listen. It's not that serious. No one needs to remember that happened. I'll just edit that out of the final version. I won't. I'll show it. Um,
and one
it was taken
day
from you. He had no health left. Yeah, and I was trying to decide whether to roll or to jump. His big earth shatter thing, and I just didn't make a decision, and then I died. So it was my fault. Okay, one great rune acquired. Periite is one of my favorite figures in Elder Scrolls lore. Periite's cool. I think that Periite doesn't get a lot of attention. Dareloth, since you have more free time now, I recommend you check out the Nag Hammadi, Nag Hammadi scriptures to better understand what Kirkbride is going for in his writing. We'll have to check it out. I guess we're going to want more decks. Strength might have been a stupid thing to invest in at all if we're doing lightning infusion. So I might go respec with Renala. I think more endurance is good too. Elden Ring teaches you to not be greedy better than anything. Yeah. Is there a character in this more pathetic than Godric? Even Poop Mouth is self-aware. Calling him Poop Mouth is so funny. I think Godric is the most pathetic creature in this game. Yeah. What was resigning from your job like? What did the children think? It was actually really sweet. I got a lot of thanks from all the people that I've worked with over the past couple of years. So I worked at that job for, God, at this point I worked at that job for 4 years, and I made, let's see, worked at that job for 4 years. I made a lot of connections with the kids and stuff. The group of 5th graders at the school that I worked at, I'd been working with them there since they were in 2nd grade. So, needless to say, everybody in that building has known me for a very long time. And I consider a lot of my coworkers there to be good friends, and so it was hard. It was sad to say goodbye. I almost cried on my last day as I was walking out of the building. But I think that it was a necessary change, and I was just getting like a little disillusioned with the school year had been going tough, and I just wasn't able to dedicate a lot of time on here, which is what I really wanted to be doing. And I just, again, it really was a big financial decision for me, which this whole YouTube thing, going full-time on here, might not pay off, but I at least want to try it, because I really was just not making enough money to sustain. So, trying to be optimistic, and we'll try this YouTube stuff for a couple months, see how it works out. But yeah, if it's got diminishing returns, then I will have to pivot and find something else. So, but yeah, last day was good. Last day at work was good. You probably taught some children that will be future Harvard graduates. Well, honestly, I spent a lot of my time, like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think I'm pretty fun to have in a school. A lot of the kids really liked me there, and I'm getting messages from my coworkers still that, like, a lot of the kids are asking, you know, for me and, like, about me and where I'm at and stuff. And one part of teaching that I really enjoyed, because I was a parapro, so okay, well, so backstory that I'm sure a couple of you are aware of, because I've talked about it a bit now, but I had a position called the building sub, which was basically a position where I would go in every single day to the same school, and I would help substitute teach. If they didn't need a substitute teacher that day, I was on deck, and I was support staff in the school. So basically, I got to hang out with, like, the kids at different times throughout their day. So I made it my job to... Oh man, do you remember when we were killing this guy on the Sotha Sil run over and over? That was crazy. To get that robe. But I made it my job to go in and talk with the kids and help out for about 45 minutes a day in the different grade levels. So some days I'd go into one of the 4th grade classes, some days the other class, and I would just help kids that were either academically low or just kids that had a question with a lot of their homework problems. And I will say that's one of the things that I really liked about the job, was that I basically got to be like, on days where I wasn't subbing, I got to be kind of like a freelance teacher in the building and teach kids about math and about science and all that fun stuff. So that was easily my favorite part of the job. But when that position got cut and I had to be a parapro, I then was working one-on-one with a kindergartner who had autism, and he was awesome. I had a really good time with him. I got to like really teach him a lot of good social skills, and by the end of the year, he did not even need me to be fully with him. So that was a huge success, because that's really the goal as a parapro, is to make it so that way your student doesn't need you anymore. Ooh, dodged too early. So that's the goal. Least restrictive environment is what you try to go for in special education. So the most restrictive environment would be like you have a one-on-one aid and you're just being taught, you know, totally away from the rest of the kids. And then, you know, another form of a restrictive environment is like you have a one-on-one aide with you in the classroom. And so I worked with him in the classroom one-on-one for the whole year until about the end of the year, and then we started taking the off of support for him. And anyway, I saw a lot of really good growth with him, and he's my little buddy. He's awesome. Then the year after that, though, because he was doing so well, I got moved to being more of a general parapro, and I was working in this 4th grade class for a lot of the end of the year. And honestly, the teacher and I just did not vibe very well together, because she did not like the fact that she had special needs kids in her class. And at least that's my read on it. And she really just was like beefing with the 4th grader with EI, which is emotional impairment. And it's like, lady, your job here is to be a teacher and a role model for the youth. I don't care who it is. That's your fucking job. And she was just not a good fit for that student. So I used to have to do a lot of like dumb shit for her. I don't know. It was really disheartening. Especially like the classroom teacher that I worked with the year prior was one of my coworkers for a long time. So like I had a good relationship with her, and we totally like, I mean, we would eat lunch together, her and I. I used to eat lunch every day with like 40-year-old women, which was super fun, honestly. Good group of ladies. Yeah, I will miss working with them too. But yeah, so that was a lot of my experience this year. Was just like feeling like I wasn't working in the right place anymore. Yeah, another fun thing with working there is like I got to explain a lot of topics to a lot of different kids, because I would consider myself to be like pretty knowledgeable on a large number of subjects. And so like usually when kids had a question for me, I would have an answer, or like I could get them an answer. I used to, so one of the kids that I worked with this year also had autism. And he was in 5th grade, and so I was assigned to sit with him at lunch, and we got a nice group of kids that would sit around with him, that were like good to, you know, just good friends for him, because kids can be mean. And so we got a good group of friends for him to sit with, and we would talk about like everything together. And it was such a funny group of kids, because it was like me sitting and hanging out with these kids, these like 5th grade kids that didn't, okay, what am I trying to say here? Like the 5th grade kids that I worked with, it was the kid with autism, and he was like very obsessed with like numbers and Rubik's cubes and all types of stuff like that. And, like a super picky eater at lunch too. And then there were his friends that he sat with, and one of them was like a very kind of like baseball-y, sportsy kid, but like very nice, and he was also Catholic. And then we had this other kid that was like probably will run for president one day. He was very openly an atheist too, and he was very like science-minded. It was so funny. And then we had this other kid that was just like a very smart, sweet, kind kid that would sit with us, and like very curious guy. So it was a fun group. Like one of my last days there, I was talking to them about how like Nagasaki and Hiroshima were like kind of war crimes, and we were having like a little debate about it. It was fun. Good to see a man teacher from time to time when almost everyone in your university are women. Yeah, I think the more like the more higher up in education you go, the more frequently you see men. Because a lot of men don't want to work with younger kids. And I think in my building in total, there were like maybe 40-some women and then 4 men. So like the ratio is definitely way off. Ooh, get fucked, Moongram. I'm high-functioning autistic. I would not have made it through early school years if not for my teachers. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Like, I think that's a big thing, too, is, like, a lot of people, especially, like, when you're a kid, you just need a fucking help, man. Like, even Gen Ed kids just need fucking help, dude. Nobody knows how to be a functioning person. And especially if you're living in, like, a world with, that's, like... Well, you had an openly atheist kindergartner? No. He was not in kindergarten. This was one of the 5th graders I sat with at lunch. We did have a Mormon family at the school, though. And this kid, it was so funny. So, okay, when I was working in the kindergarten classroom, this kid would come in and we'd do, like, an opening circle. And we would talk about... wow, she's trying to bite her toes. Insane. So we had this one family that was Mormons, right? And so every day we did this opening circle that would be like, what are you thankful for? You know, what'd you do over the weekend? And the one kid would always say, and I'm thankful for the Godhead, because that's like an actual term in Mormonism. And so it was so funny to me, though, the first time that I heard him say it. I was, like, working on the Tower Lore video. And, like, hearing this kid just be like, yeah, I'm thankful for the Godhead. I was like, God damn it, I can't even escape at work. Can't even escape the Kirkbride esoteric writing at work. Are. I feel like I recall you talking about the Godhead kid. Super sweet kid. Love that guy. But, man, yeah, I probably did talk about that at the time. It was funny. Oh, I should be jumping. What am I doing? Mormons start with a plus 100 in best lore. They do. It's unfair. You guys have seen Better Call Saul. It's the Chuck moment. I worked my ass off for this. You just get to take these shortcuts? I have to do one more round of chemo, I think. Okay, there's the chanting. So here. Did Kirkbride just yoink that from the Mormons? Probably. I enjoyed being a teacher while doing my practice, especially like 2nd grade. Amazing kids, teachers, overall very good experience. Yeah, I feel like most people that work in schools are good, but occasionally you come across these people where it's like, man, do you even like children? Like, why are you working here? And a lot of the time it's people that were like good at math that didn't know what else to do. We're like, well, I guess I'll teach. Speaking of that, kind of, not really, but speaking of teachers, my one of my favorite professors from my community college that I went to just passed away. And he was my neighbor as well, so definitely sad. Alright, here's where we get the bullshit brigade. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. What did he teach? He taught history. He was an American history professor. He was really good. He knew American history like the back of his hand. Ooh. Ow. Oh god. But yeah, he was my neighbor growing up. His daughter went to school with me. History teachers are always dope as hell. Yeah, I remember the first day of class, he was like, so if you bought the book, you should go return it, because we're not going to use it, and it's a waste of money. And I was like, hell yeah, this guy's awesome. He was very, like, a little bit awkward, but, like, in a kind of fun history teacher way. Okay, you're already summoning other stuff. What is wrong with you? Okay, Renala, Queen of the Full Moon. Please stop. Please stop summoning stuff. It's really obnoxious. Ow. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Come, oath-sworn giants.
Alright. Oh, I'm out of... Ooh. Low on stamina. This fight just takes so long. Still haven't gotten even poise break yet. Maybe I'll try to... Yeah. Stupid idea. Ow. Oh my god. This fight is such a joke, dude. Like, it's like the Squalid Queen was better, I guess, or had more options. Oh my god, I don't even like fighting these wolves because they just dogpile you. Well, I guess that makes sense that they would dogpile you, right? Um... Okay, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna... We're gonna try to just get her. There we go.
Little Rani, my dear daughter.
Okay. Jesus. How old am I? I'm 26. The graphic design boom when I was in college was such a racket. How so? To be fair, though, I still have no idea what I'm doing in my late 30s, though mostly hoping my biotech major pays off, because my completed graphic design degree went nowhere. Gotcha. Oh, we need a Marvel tier. L plus Tarnished plus Touch Grace plus Scarlet Rot plus Maidenless. Okay. Where do I need to go? I need to go here. Make sure to drink water, ladies and gentlemen, as well. Just that everyone was like, are you artistic and want to make money? Get a design degree. Get a design degree. Nice. Yeah, I really, I wanted to do something artistic when I was younger, but I never was kind of pushed in that direction. In fact, I had this one friend that was kind of like, I don't know, he wasn't a good friend, and he would just consistently try to, like, reality check you, but, like, in, like, ways that he thought was right. So, like, you know, being a teacher, like, there's not a lot of money in that field. And so I remember, like, mentioning to him that I wanted to be a teacher, and he was like, well, you're never gonna make any money doing that. Or, like, being an artist, and he would just, like, be like, well, yeah, you're never going to make money doing that either. And I don't know why, but, like, a lot of people in my friend group at the time kind of valued his opinion more than we should have. So, like, I think if you want to do something, you should just fucking try it and do it. And, like, life is too short to be too concerned about stuff like that. The dream to be a good musician and impress everyone in last day of school. Yeah. I frankly don't call people who weren't good friends anymore just people I know. That's fair. Wonder what that guy ended up doing himself. Yeah, I was actually talking with him recently, because it's been so long. I mean, I'm not, like, friends with the guy, but, like, I was talking with some mutual friends, and he was there. I was talking with him recently. I forget what he's up to these days, but, like, he's not doing poorly, I don't believe. This perfumer. Really just had to put a perfumer here. Okay.
Please no, dear me.
Alright, sorry, Albus. I'm talking too long, man. I gotta beat my Sothis record. Gotta beat my Sothis time, sorry.
Curse take everything.
We'll go back to Renala. I hate it when ignorant, self-referential morons hold sway in any friend group. It makes no sense to me. Mm-hmm.
Art thou now?
Okay, so the strength build has not made any sense, so we're going to pivot into Dex, because that, if we're using lightning, that's just what we got to do. I think Vigor at 14 is good. We'll just keep the stats relatively the same, but Dex can stay low. And I'll give myself an extra point of endurance. At some point, reality checks are just being a jackass, but we're the same age, so this was probably around the time being smart and being mean were treated as the same thing, right? Yeah. I think the world largely has gotten a lot meaner. Like, people are... Like, you think about our... Okay, not to get too political, but, like, politics in the United States has gotten a lot meaner. Like, I feel like a couple decades ago, things were more civil. Even if people disagreed, things were more civil. And now it's like people are just more openly mean to one another. Lots of people stop doing things they love because it isn't sustainable. People have goals, and sometimes you need some money to achieve them, like having a family. Yeah, well, and that's a really big thing, too, because, like, so I've been seeing my girlfriend for a bit now, too, and it's like, you know, it's kind of it's a good reality check there to be like, okay, I need to have some financial stability. And again, not that I'm like doing poorly, but I'm not doing as well as I could be. Ooh, that was not good. Yikes. Can you jump this? Yeah. Or I was just far enough away that it didn't matter. Ooh. Oh! Oh, because I multi-hit him with the jump attack. This is not good. Ah. Wow. Light roll superiority yet again. Ah, one shot. Damn. Say the quiet part out loud. Yeah. I think I appreciate people who do that, though. Like, I watch Professor Dave all the time on YouTube, and that guy is, like, just mean to people, but, like, he's mean to people who are, like, science-denying broad peddlers a lot of the time, so I think that kind of stuff I don't mind. I think things have gotten more extreme in general with meanness and niceness alike. Everyone's just serious about everything these days. Well, there's, like, a lot of stuff is on the line, I think, nowadays as well. Oh, we gotta fight Ensha. Oops. Bodied. Absolutely bodied. Sorry, Ensha. See you next time. According to power scaling rules, Godric killed you, and these other bosses didn't, so therefore Godric must be stronger. True, Godric is at least as strong as the Draconic Tree Sentinel. If Ensha actually had an aura, he wouldn't need to farm so hard. True. Okay, we got our extra talisman pouch. I think we'll put on... maybe the Source Seal, but honestly, probably not. Really, I need to get smithing stones, and smithing stones, we go to, I think, this cave to go get smithing stones. That might be somber. I will double check really quick. Also, I haven't checked on Twitch chat in years. Sorry. If anyone's, there's one person watching on Twitch. Sorry if you're on Twitch. I have been mostly talking to my YouTube chat. Okay, let's see. Smithing stone. Bell bearing. So this one is in, yeah, the Rhea Lucaria Crystal Tunnel. I was right. What are my favorite talismans? I like the multi-hit talisman, like the Melania's multi-hit talisman. A lot of the physics stuff that I run normally is like I do a lot of stance break builds, or like the physic, I think it's the Thorny Cracked tier. That's the physic that I run a lot. So like Charge Attack Talisman is really good for me because that's like my playstyle a lot of the time is to try to either parry or stance break and get a lot of good crits. So I like the Dagger Talisman. I like the Blade of Mercy from the DLC is really fun. I like bleed builds are just so much fun. So I like the kind of bleed talismans too, like Mohg's, what is it, Mohg's Exaltation or something like that. Lord of Blood's Exaltation is a good one. But yeah, either multi-hit builds or like stance break builds are probably my favorite. Because I really like daggers as well. I think daggers in Elden Ring are really, really fun. But for the purposes of this playthrough, I think jump attack is going to be the best because we're doing dual wield scimitars. Also, I may wind up doing the little exploit that you can do where you kill the Draconic Tree Sentinel by like having him fall off the map. I might do that because I just need to get into Lane-Del to get lightning infusions. I suppose we could go fight Radahn as well if we wanted to, which I don't really want to at this point. Are other curved swords allowed or just scimitars? Well, I want a weapon that can have an electric, either grease applied to it or an electric infusion. So as long as it's a regular, like, smithing weapon, then I'm fine with it. But, because I don't think there's any lightning-infused somber scimitars. But yeah, if you can think of another... Ow. If you can think of another curved sword that works better, I'm all ears. I just did scimitars because they started with this class. In the spirit of Morrowind, katanas are allowed. I wish katanas were allowed. Katanas are so good. But yeah, there's not really a good sword that looks like Hope's Fire, so... this is what we're doing. What swords am I using? Right now, I have 2 +1 scimitars. But we're trying to make it look like Hope's Fire. I hate this enemy type. Iron Menial from Elden Ring really, really putting in work for those guys' reputation. Okay, in here... I also forgot to get this on the last run. Ah! Wow, okay, I'll just shut the fuck up then. Keening is in that box. Damn. Gotta go so far down again. Now, I also should mention I may use Faith as well in this playthrough, but I'm just not, like... I'm not really thinking of any Faith weapons that come to mind. Anything like True Flame. There's a curved magma sword, I think, but you have to farm for it pretty hard, which I don't really want to do, but I could. I could if it's agreed that that's the weapon of choice. Can't wait for katanas in Test 6 or Test 7 Akavir, yeah. The dream is to dual wield both, I assume. That'd be cool. Right now I'm just kind of dual wielding these because they work better together, and I swear I've seen art of Almalexia with 2 curved swords at one point. Oh my god, I almost fell off the map. Hey, this guy's got souls. This guy's got souls to spare. Or runes, sorry, runes. Okay, let me just grab this really quick. Okay, there's Keening. Ow! Keening acquired. I think the falchion dropped by demi-humans by Agil Lake has better stats for basic curved swords. I remember looking into that, and I think they were about the same. Jesus Christ, dude. This guy's gotta leave me alone in here. Oh, ow, ow. Okay. Who would win in a sword fight? Rada, Alceron, or Almalexia? I would say Rada. Just because we don't know anything about Almalexia, basically. I wish we did. This lore video's... I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting. I mean, go look at her lore page right now on UESP. See how slim the section is on early life. It is crazy. And pretty much the thing that everyone knows about her, that she fought off Mehrunes Dagon, like, that's one of her only big feats. Her questline in ESO is such a wet fart, too. Really sucks. I feel like she just did so dirty. Nefarious Man, you have a question of utmost seriousness? What is it? Okay. We can upgrade these to +6, I think. Who should I fight next? Meteor, Shadow Tree Avatar, or Midra? Okay. If you're wanting a good long fight with Midra, I would fight him next. I don't know what level you are, I guess, but like, I have gotten to Midra before, and then I kill him first try, and I'm like, aw. Like, I'm honestly kind of sad, because I like the Midra fight a lot. I don't mind repeating it. So, if you want a more difficult Midra, I'd say fight him early, but like, I'd say Shadow Tree Avatar if you just need some runes, and Meteor, either... Meteor's difficult, because I don't mind that boss too much, but I know a lot of people have trouble with her, so I don't know. I guess depending on your own comfort level between Shadow Tree and Meteor. Okay, I need to buy some rocks. So we need a bunch of rocks. In fact, we need so many rocks that I'm going to have to pop the Remembrance of the Grafted. Okay, so the normal thing is 12, so we need 24. Level 301 on my New Game Plus 1 playthrough, if that helps. High dex and int. Oh, in that case, I would say fight, high dex and int. Are you doing a bleed build? Let's upgrade the Lightning Scimitar. Let's go back and see if we can take on the Avatar here. Or the Sentinel. What am I saying? The damage has got to be better. Because I'd say if you're doing a bleed build, you should go fight Meteor, because I think she's weak to bleed. Dareloth, what are your thoughts on strategy games like Crusader Kings and EU5? I know you've streamed CK and Civ in the past. I'm much more comfortable with not real time with pausing. I'm much more comfortable with turn-based RPGs like that, or turn-based strategy games, than I am with real time with pausing. So I think like Civ is much more my lane, where I can plan out an empire and like, you know, turn by turn build to that, where I don't have to constantly be like micromanaging. I feel like in a lot of games, like in CK3, I feel like I micromanage a lot. But I also really do like CK3 for Elder Kings. I think Elder Kings is really, really good. Okay, this feels much more doable. But yeah, like Civ is one of my favorites. Civ 6 specifically. I haven't delved too much into EU5, but one of my friends is really big into EU4. What? That hit me? Get that little hit in there to keep this dance damage up. Oh, wow, you can jump that. Okay. Okay, he's not lightning infused anymore. So that's a good sign that he's going to do all that. Damn. Did not get to utilize that stance break at all. I hate how long he holds that one, dude. Such a dick. Okay. No longer lightning infused. There we go. That wasn't too bad. He killed me as many times as Godric did. Okay. Dragon Scale Blade has lightning ice skill. Ooh, is the Dragon Scale Blade a curved sword? Civ 7 is really obtuse for no reason. I was not interested in Civ 7. Even just the UI of Civ 7 looks kind of like it's a little whack. Wow, our lightning infusion is much better than our other sword. EU5 is great, but not quite as polished as 4. It's much more complex and even niche, perhaps. Potential to be a masterpiece, but needs some time. Took me 200 hours to learn it, but I had a blast. Yeah, I feel like there's still some stuff in CK3 that I don't understand. Just like flat out at all. Okay, we probably need to just undo the enchantments entirely on that. Of course, one EU5 campaign can take hundreds of hours. Yeah, it's very real. But when you think about it, like compared to one Skyrim playthrough, like that could take you, oh, a long time. What don't you understand about CK3? I mean, I feel like I don't understand a lot of stuff about it. Like, I don't have anything in particular, but I feel like sometimes I don't have a good grasp on, like, diplomacy stuff or, like, I don't know, like, who I should be putting in charge of, like, duchies and stuff, and, like, succession laws. Like, it's a complicated game. CK3 feels so understandable compared to HOI and EU. Yeah. It's basically The Sims. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that, like, I can't play it. I know how to play the game. I united the Alien Empire, the Barsabic Empire in EK2. But I just mean, like, as far as some of the technical decisions, I feel like I have not mastered that game yet in the same way that I've mastered, like, Civ 6. I feel like I could play Civ 6 in my sleep. But I don't have that same level of comfort yet with CK3. Duchies put in charge of random unlanded person you gave a country. I usually wind up generating a person where it's like, generate someone from same faith, same culture. Okay, now that we're in Lanedale. What's my favorite Civ? I like 6, but most people I know prefer 5. Actually, funnily enough, my my only history with the Civ franchise is with Civ Revolution and Civ 6. So I've never even played 5. That's a lie, actually. I did play 5. I bought it. And then I was so used to Civ 6 that I just refunded it. So, yeah, I've only really ever played Civ Revolution and Civ 6. So, Civ is my favorite. Or Civ 6 is my favorite. If you're talking about my favorite Civ to play in Civ 6, I obviously really like Rome. With Trajan specifically. I think the Trajan Rome is really good. I'm a big fan of the Cree. I think they have a really interesting mechanic. I think Portugal is pretty broken if you're playing on any kind of water-based map. And I tend to like a lot of the water-based civs. Like Indonesia is really fun. Really like Teddy. He's a lot of fun. Dareloth Mansa Musa with Desert is a money printer, though? I mean, he is, yeah. I actually like the guy that they added that is the alternate ruler for Mali. He's fun. It's like great works of writing give you extra bonuses. Or something like that. I also really like Christina. I'm a big, like, tourism junkie. I just like making a really pretty empire with national parks and getting people to come and visit my piece of the world is fun. I normally always kill this thing because I think it drops like 30,000 runes. Oh, never mind. That might be New Game Plus. EU5, there's hundreds of factions you can pick. I think a 100% playthrough of Skyrim is possible in 200 hours. Yeah, if you skip a lot of dialogue and know where you're going.
Farewell. I shall leave Torrent. I wish you have. I have no.
Forgive me if you showed it recently, but I just showed up. What's the build? So the build is... we're trying to get 2 lightning-infused scimitars to represent Almalexia and her sword known as Hope's Fire. I could infuse one with fire, but that would just be bad, stat-wise. Although, again, we could do it to represent True Flame. But, yeah, the build basically is just a lot of points in dex and a lot of points in health and endurance. We're doing a lot of jump attacks as well. Oh my god. So, nothing too complicated. In CK3, I love converting all of China to Islam as an unlanded adventure. Yeah, I don't have any of the DLC for CK3. I keep needing to buy it, but it's so expensive. And I just don't play it enough to justify me getting it. Okay, I'm just gonna walk by this guy. It's on sale in the Paradox store right now. Yeah, it's on sale. They're having a sale. I looked at it. Okay, we're gonna drop down here. You're welcome. Dareloth, there are many ways to get anything you want on the internet for free. Fair enough. Dragon Scale Blade is just a scimitar, pretty much. If it's not under the curved sword category, then it won't dual wield well with this other one. But I think I know where the blade is. That's in, Dragon Scale Blade is in, Ainsel Riverwell, right? Sacred Wet Blade, woo! Also, give it time. Paradox are eager to give creators keys to their games. Yeah, I mean, if I wind up doing, like, more CK3 streams, I think it'd be fun to do more. I only did one. Probably my favorite thing to do in CK3 is restoring Zoroastrianism. See, most of what I do in CK3 is EK2. I think I played the tutorial to CK3, and then I was like, okay, I kind of get it, and I went right into Elder Kings. Okay. We'll apply, I don't know, Ground Slam with a Lightning Infusion. I saw people with 2,000 subs get early access to EU5, so you literally just have to appear on their radar. Cool. That is good news to hear. Yeah, I need to, so when I was doing my taxes this year, I was actually able to write off Avowed and Oblivion Remastered, because I made videos on those in the year of our Lord 2025. So that was cool. And the IRS hasn't hunted me down yet, so. Okay. Elder Kings does look fun. It is very fun. Aw, dude, that was almost hitless. I ran out of stamina and started getting worried. Talisman pouch. Okay, we are fully pouched up. Next part of the plan. We'll do... Sure, more decks. And then I need to go down here and get the bell bearing. Smithing... I don't know. Smithing stone. Is it this one? Let me double check. I always forget. Shout out to the one guy on Twitch who's still watching this stream. Thank you. Or girl, whoever's watching. Okay, smithing stone, bell bearing, 2. It's part of the sealed tunnel. Yep, okay. It is where I thought it was. Good, good, good. Man, filing taxes sounds like a fucking chore. It was a little bit of a chore, especially because I had 4 different sources of income last year. So I had to file 4 different W-2s. I would like Elder Kings more, however, the more I stare at it, the more painfully square Tamriel becomes. What do you mean by that? IRS got defunded a lot, so the odds of being hunted down are low. This is true. I mean, I've got proof of receipt. So. Not sure if you noticed, but Tamriel is, like, really square. I mean, I wouldn't describe it as a square, but, like, I guess it could fit in a box shape. Okay, I think this build is coming together pretty nicely. We're gonna have to do some, what's her name stuff. Not Melina. Not Marika. Not her sister Mia, or Amy, or whatever their names are. Millicent, that's the name I'm looking for. We're gonna have to do some Millicent stuff if we want her prosthesis, which we definitely do. So, we could go do that now, and then we could make our way over to Verdun. We'd have to go to the Lake of Rot first, so we'll just do all that really quick while I'm thinking about it to get our talisman. So. Take a look at a map of Tamriel. Someone pointed out how it's weirdly square, and I haven't been able to unnotice it. Morrowind and Blackmarsh are basically right angles. The top and bottoms are, like, really flat. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, I have a pretty good mental image of Tamriel in my head. I see what you're saying, but also, like, Blackmarsh kind of... I don't know. I still don't see it as a square, just because it could fit in a square shape, you know? I understand what you're saying, but... Somerset Isles look like a piece of the puzzle that is broken off. Just search it up. Well, yeah, I mean, that's how real-world stuff is. Like, look up Pangea, you know? Our real world fits together like a puzzle, so when you're designing maps, you should definitely keep that in mind. Okay. You're gonna have to fight Millicent. Invaded by Millie Bobby Brown. Okay. Ow. Yeah, okay. We'll just avoid her next time. Take the long way around. Why did she attack you there, by the way? I've never really understood that either, but she just invades you when you get too close over this way. Hughesbane Peninsula in Somerset looks like smaller Somerset Isles. It kind of does, yeah. Okay, I think I can take O'Neill here, but I'll still get the Grace. That way I don't have to walk through the swamp again. Yeah, this should be fine. Oh, if I had eyes, that would be helpful. My grandfather was blind, so I can say that. I'm allowed to say that. I'm dead. Wow. I got hit by an arrow and it stun locked me. Let me look up a picture of Tamriel just really quick. Yeah, I don't think that's a square. I would tend to disagree. Okay. Oops. Jeez, dude. Oh, okay. Again, I need to reattach my eyeballs to my head. You guys ever seen the picture of Tamriel where someone attached India to the bottom of it and it just looks like it fits? Oh, we're rotted. Damn. I think he just, yeah, he summoned more guys and I got stun locked. That sucks, bro. So far, I've died the most to O'Neill here. Are there any updates on that Test Legends Reborn project? I haven't gotten any updates myself, but there could be. But, I'm not in the loop on it, really. Okay. Okay. What? That was insane. Should not be allowed to do that move. I don't think I've honestly ever fought this guy long enough to know that he even had that move. Thanks. Same shit. That's insane. The stun lock is crazy. Okay. I would have survived if I didn't get rotted. Yeah. All right. So we can't... Oh. Man. It's a puddle of rot over there. Jesus Christ. Okay, come on. Okay. Very lucky. I didn't know that I could jump that. Very lucky that I could. Okay. Keep thinking I should stream Tessel, but I don't think I have the charisma for it. Also been playing, I also haven't been playing much. Gritty has been killing it on finding bugs, though. Nice. Yeah, I haven't played much Legends at all. I just, like, the people that are playing Legends right now are just really good and playing a lot of very meta stuff. At least the last time that I was on, I got squashed by the same guy about, like, 20 times in a row, and I was like, well, fuck this, because I was trying to play a combo deck, and he was just trying to win. So I kept losing by, like, turn 6.
Go on. Now, well, the work of a Can you give me some as well, mate?
Okay, quit out. But yeah, I mean, it can't hurt to try streaming, dude.
I have the needle. Will you give it? I will reward. Millicent tended to a wretched.
Apparently, Sky Oblivion is close to completion. Yes,
My flesh, it is a curse. You are to quell, but
we're getting there.
never mind. I would rather. Would you mind?
Skip.
Well, my apology. Everything, even the night. Not that I could ever try. I'm with the needle. My destiny. It's all thanks to you. My name is Millicent. I'm with the needle. My destiny.
Okay. So she's gonna go down to Gallery now. So we gotta go back to Gallery Shack. It's the most obnoxious quest line in existence. I'm gonna give a warning. I will have to leave in about an hour. So whatever we can finish up in an hour, we'll try to get done. But so far, I think we've gotten a lot of really good progress today on the build. It's generally the hardest part of making these videos is, like, going around and
Something.
gathering all the items.
Perhaps. Well, I must.
So then she leaves, and then we talk to Gowry, and then we can see her. We need to go to the Shaded Castle, and we need to get her. Oh, gotta stretch. We need to get her prosthesis, give that to her, and I think then we can kill her, and we can just get it early.
Thank for giving me and stare her face. You've been as thanks for the lost. Oh, indeed.
Then you have
Seems,
Tamriel
however,
Reborn,
she
which has been
no-
going, or an ongoing volunteer project since 01 to add all of Tamriel on the Morrowind engine. Yeah, my friend, he just downloaded, I think, are parts of that complete? Because he said that he was walking around mainland Morrowind. Due to that mod. Okay, Altus Highway, no. We go to Altus Plateau. I'll go get the Ritual Sword Talisman too, just on the off chance that I don't get hit. I normally take some hits, especially with this jump attack build, but we're really not using the Strength Heirloom anymore, so I might as well get Ritual Sword. And then I think we can actually get quite a bit done in the next little while that I'll be on here. Lux Ruins. It's right here. I really should get the turtle talisman. What's up, Demi-Human Queen Gilka? 37 damage. Okay, she's gonna start to rage. Wow. I had a really hard time with her on... Was it Bysotha Silbrun? She kept killing me. Or it could have been the Vivek run. But one of those times we had an absolutely awful time fighting her. But now that we're here, go talk to Millicent, to Millie Bobby Brown. I also don't know... Oh. Oh. Shield crash. Cool.
In truth, it's been Scarlet as such, though rather I realized I could have ate. Now, after Unleash, I should like. I think she's in the lands.
Cool. So we need to go to the Shaded Castle. We need to kill... Well, we don't need to kill Darth Vader, but we can kill Darth Vader. If we want. Geralt, good night. Peace out. Very impressive how dedicated the modding community is. Yeah, 100%. Reached a point where the Elder Scrolls has become the fans' own fantasy universe, not really Bethesda's anymore. Yeah, I think they're going to have a really hard time. I mean, Todd Howard himself said they're going to have a hard time meeting fan expectations. And I don't know if it's just, like, really pessimistic to say or not, but I don't think they have it in them to make anything interesting at this point. I really just don't. I mean, they have such an interesting world, and, like, I love Skyrim. I will defend Skyrim from a lot of criticism, but also that game really, really took a step back in terms of, like, interesting elements of the Elder Scrolls. Like, it really didn't take anything that was established already. It just added all this extra lore with dragons and stuff, which is cool. I mean, I like the addition of new lore, but it didn't utilize a lot of. It added new lore without utilizing a lot of pre-existing lore, I think. Although it did build a lot on, like, the importance of Dragonborns. Was looking at armor, and Champion's armor matches what Almalexia wears pretty closely, minus the headpieces. Champion's armor. Where do you get Champion's armor from? Is that like the stuff that Nefeli wears? I got started with Skyrim, but it was the lore from the older games that I read in books that really hooked me in. Yes, I agree too. I started with Oblivion, and I think Oblivion is a really good game to get you started and interested in Elder Scrolls lore, because a lot of the stuff in that game is, like, very Oblivion. Like, the Elder Scrolls, I don't think would be as interesting without the Daedra. Which is one reason that, like, when people ask me to play Arena, I'm like, I don't know if I even want to, man. Like, that game, I can appreciate Arena from, like, a starting the series thing, but because it started the series, it, like, lacks a lot of stuff that made the series become what it is. So, Arena is, like, a cool piece of history, but I don't know that I'll ever do an actual playthrough of it. Unless people genuinely really want me to, but that's kind of more Frostbreak's niche at this point that he does, is like play the old games, so I mean, maybe for my own personal enjoyment I'll play it one day, but, like, I don't really want to step on my man's sphere. Did Arena not have the Daedric? No, the Daedric Princes were introduced in Daggerfall. I think there's Daedric armor, maybe, in Arena, but it's, like, just red. Or maybe that's Daggerfall that I'm thinking of, too. And a lot of the stuff that, like, is the iconic lore that we know and love today was introduced in Morrowind, so... You really... That's why a lot of people will, like, say that there's, like, 3 games in the series, and it's Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, but even, like, Oblivion did such a bad job at handing off the reins. Because Morrowind established a lot of really cool stuff, and then Oblivion immediately backpedaled and didn't work with a lot of it. Okay. Oh. Well, let's see if we survive. We do. Wow. Ouch. Okay, please stop doing that as soon as I heal. Please stop doing that as soon as I heal. Okay. Lord Vader. Nords in Morrowind and even Oblivion are way more interesting than in Skyrim. Yeah, the Nords just kind of suck in Skyrim. They're just shitty. They're like illiterate. I'm afraid that TES is so big now that they're unwilling or unable to take the risks they'd have to take to make a really exciting game, or excellent game. You can't take the kind of risks they took in Morrowind when you're spending $1 billion. Yeah, I also think that, I mean, I've voiced this opinion before, but I think people don't care about the Elder Scrolls. I think people care about Skyrim, and they know that Elder Scrolls 6 is the next Skyrim, but I don't think people actually care that much about the series as a whole. I do not envy Bethesda's position right now. True.
Oh, I didn't. I'll be doing much. Just lay out your out.
Oh, oops. No, we're good. We're good. Okay, plus 12 scimitars, all the good shit. Let's go fight Radahn before Morgott, see if we can just get a couple extra levels. And we can even do the Radahn skip. So I forget where exactly it is. I want to say it's over by the bowl. Oh hey, it's this guy. Yeah, it's over here by the bowl. Maybe a little bit off from it. But I think If you drop down this way, you can just jump off and you'll die, but... Oh, here. All these bloodstains here. That's it. So, you have to, like, jump off. I didn't do it right. Yeah, I didn't do it right. I've always said that Oblivion was carried by Shivering Isles. So, my friend in my D&D campaign, he's never played an Elder Scrolls game until recently. So, he's playing in my Elder Scrolls campaign, and his character that we wrote for him is like a guy from, if you know where Fell's Run is, it's it's just some shitty town in High Rock. So, he's from Fell's Run, and he, like, doesn't know anything about the world, so he's come to Cyrodiil. And it's been really fun, so his in-game character and him in real life have been learning stuff about Elder Scrolls. And recently, Oblivion was on sale, like OG Oblivion. So I bought it for him. And there we go. Okay, I landed right on that thing, but I think that'll be okay. Nope. So yeah, anyway, he's been playing through Oblivion, and it's been really interesting to see his takeaways from the game, because he's been enjoying it, actually. But also, like I said, he doesn't know a lot about the lore and, like, what Oblivion has done and not done. Okay, let's jump off this way. Okay. Oh man, did they fix this? Or am I just not doing it right? Skyrim kind of tapped into the cozy gaming thing, and so lots of people playing Skyrim weren't looking for lore to get into, and are a different fan base, and so test fans are actually a niche. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge disparity in the Elder Scrolls fan base, but I feel like for the most part, people within the Elder Scrolls fan base get along in a way that people from the Fallout fan base do not. Okay, I'm going to give this one more try. And if this doesn't work, we will pivot to doing something actually productive. Yeah, okay, I think there's just a death wall right there. Or I'm not doing it correctly. But we're wasting a lot of time. Oh. I heard that Game of Thrones or something had a lot to do with Skyrim's popularity, but not sure how accurate that is. I've never seen Game of Thrones, but yeah, I think that, like, I mean, there was a push for a while for things to be more realistic in fiction, and I think we're kind of getting more out of that as time's gone on, but... Ooh, you know what? Let me go back to the Smoldering Church really quick. But yeah, stuff like... you have, like, Zack Snyder's Batman movie, right? Or not Batman movie, Superman movie that was, like, supposed to be gritty and realistic. And then you have, yeah, like Game of Thrones is, like, the realistic fiction. And, I think that it definitely had an effect on it. Okay, Anastasia. I think she holds the lightning talisman or something. Sacred Scorpion Charm. Holy attack. My bad. Okay, well, that's all good. We killed her. We got her talisman pouches. Okay, we'll go fight Radon the normal way. Go this way. So true, as an insufferable New Vegas fan. See, I would consider myself more in line with the insufferable New Vegas fans than anyone else, and that's mostly because New Vegas is one of the only Fallout games that I've played. And I've played New Vegas and 4, and I think 4, the older I've gotten, the more I think Fallout 4 is a dog shit game. And an even worse Fallout game. I grew up with anime from the 90s, so my favorite fictional world is Read or Die. I don't know that world. I don't really watch anime. So, Champion's Armor, are you talking about this set here? Yeah, the Champion headband. I mean, that could kind of work, but the one that I've got in mind I think is better, so we will put that one to the side for now. Wasn't New Vegas made by Bethesda? No. New Vegas was made by Obsidian. I feel like Obsidian getting bought by Microsoft was pretty bad for them. Because it seems like they've had to pump out games at a rate that's just, like, not good. Like, Avowed released and it was undercooked. They've only just recently given Avowed a big update that, like, was meant to fix some of its huge problems. And even then, it hasn't done that, like, in my opinion. It fixed some problems, but it didn't fix the game. They added a bunch of really cool features, and I'm glad they did that. Because it'll be good on my next playthrough of that game, but I still think the problems that people had with Avowed are still going to be there. And Outer Worlds 2, I enjoyed Outer Worlds 2, actually. I thought it was a big improvement from Outer Worlds 1.
I am. Are you the festival?
Are you the festival? Yes.
But now, we must make. Oh, the salad!
Obsidian has been very hit or miss, and they aren't really what Black Isle was. Yeah, I still like Obsidian, though. I think they try a great deal with their games. Smithing Stone 6. Yeah, I think they try a great deal with their games, and I think that they put a lot of hard work into them. I think that Microsoft... I mean, this is my own theory, but I think that Microsoft has been, like, pushing them to do certain things with their games that have resulted in them being the way they are. It's my biggest explanation. Like, I think if Avowed was given more time and it wasn't being pushed as, like, the big game for Xbox, they could have done a more... I don't want to say more interesting story, because I enjoyed the story, but I think the characters in Avowed were pretty bad. Okay, I can't remember if I summoned help in the other playthroughs, but we'll summon some help here. Oh, yeah. It hurts to fight Radon with no armor. He's gonna... Oh! We might have actually stopped him from blasting off. Nope. Okay. Ooh. Holy shit. Dodge into this one. Wow, I am alive. And you are dead. Problem with studios these days is that they release their games in a shit state and use their fans as free testers. What they don't realize is that bad launches are way worse than delaying releases. Bad launches instantly kill interest in a game, even if it has a lot of potential. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm not a fan of the way that Avowed was launched. There was some really stupid shit in that game when it launched. I should have streamed that game entirely. But I streamed on the first day, and man, like, even the comments I got from people on it was day one of release, like, early access day one. And people were coming in and they were like, oh man, you really playing this woke slop? And I was like, what are you even talking about? The game just came out.
The glory of and then I fall. I can't fathom how he was a living.
Yeah, just crazy. Okay, we killed Radon. I need to talk to... Did I give Millicent her prosthesis? Let's see. Can't remember if I even did that. I've been on autopilot. No, I did not give it to her. So we will go back and fix that. I like Pillars, but comparing it to the OG BG 1 and 2, it's not the same feeling. Yeah, I mean, they were going for something inspired by it, but... I haven't really put a lot of hours into those games. Played a shit ton of Baldur's Gate 3.
Are you giving me? I think it might be possible. It might be perhaps the...
Okay, do we just go back and... Does she have her arm now?
It might be perhaps.
Ah, okay. Then we do have to go over this way. Like that guy. The scale of games has outpast the time it takes to make them, and shareholders don't care about that difference. Yeah. I mean, I think what is really overblown, too, by a lot of people is, like, what makes a bad game. Like, I think Fallout 76, that was a bad game. I was there in the open beta, or the closed beta. That was a bad game. That game was really bad. So when people are out here telling me that, like, Outer Worlds 1 and 2 are bad games, or, like, Avowed is a bad game, I'm like, I'll agree that it's a suboptimal game. I'm not going to say that game is bad. I think it's got bad parts to it, but man, a bad game entirely? Out of your mind. It's crazy that still hits me with this strafe, too. My cousin is much harsher on modern CRPGs than I am, so he actually dislikes Pillars. He did like the Owlcat Pathfinder games, and ironically, I just like those. I know, like, Pillars never really caught on with people, and I think there's probably a reason for that. I do think Pillars, like, probably would have been better as a book series or something, too. Like, I like it as a video game, but it is kind of a reading simulator. And they really do want to, like... It's not so much about that game being a video game, it's really a lot more of that game is, like, a philosophical vessel to drive forward the questions it's asking. Like, I don't play Pillars for the gameplay, is what I'll say. Yikes. Okay, this guy's gonna do that. Jesus Christ, bro, stop. Okay. So far, this build has been, honestly, pretty easy. Healer and Black Flame. And then we need to go kill Millicent.
Why are you doing this? Now you forced my hand. I did not imagine it ending.
Sorry.
like this,
Sorry.
but I will not.
We'll get rid of the charge attack talisman.
What you have done.
Multi-hit. And then I think we're good to go fight Morgoth. Oh, no we're not. I need, I would like to get, I won't say that I need it, but I would like to get his shackle. So we have to go do patches really quick. Do you think that FromSoft is bad at communicating the lore of their games? I think there's been a lot of people recently I've seen echoing that sentiment, where I need to think about it a little bit more, because I've always thought that their method of delivering lore was really interesting, where they have, like, they have a lot of clearly established stuff, and then sort of the player goes in and has to... It's like they basically took scissors and they cut out parts of the lore, and then they're like, you figure that part out, type thing. Which I think is more interesting than there just being a book that's handed to you, and then you're, you know, just reading verbatim what happened. So I don't know that they're bad at communicating, but also, like, I mean, they kind of are. But it's kind of on purpose at the same time, too. I think Elden Ring gets a really bad rep because Elden Ring's lore is super convoluted. But I think in, like, Dark Souls and stuff, I think their lore delivery is totally fine. But really, Shadow of the Erd Tree, they took a lot of flack for what they did in Shadow of the Erd Tree.
isn't Nereus. The bloody finger. The end is nigh.
Really just with Radon being the big bad evil guy at the end.
And your cessblood.
Didn't make any sense. And so I think because of that, a lot of people have been mad at FromSoft. I consider myself quite detail-oriented, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out Elden Ring's lore from the game itself. Yeah, I mean, I definitely had to watch a couple lore videos about it, but I think that the lore, like, what I like about FromSoft lore is that once you know it, it does come together and make sense. Like, things around you start to make sense, but I do think that, like, again, I think that Elden Ring is a good example of, like, there's a lot in this game, and it's really hard to... No way he jumped on me. Patches. Stop. Oh, he's dead. I actually didn't mean to kill him. I think we can still buy the shackle from him. They did it in a way that if you're invested, you'll like it, but you don't have to care as a player. That's a good way to put it. My roommate absolutely hates FromSoft's philosophy of doing that, though. Okay, Margot's Shackle. Yeah, we can still get that. I'll buy some feet, too. That, and I'll get the Stone Sword key, just in case we need it. Everything else I think we're good on. So then we'll go and we will try to kill Morgott. Now, I don't know if anyone can answer this question for me, but as far as Morgott goes, you can shackle him in Phase 1 only, right? You can't do it in Phase 2? I think they're good at it, but it's very much not for everyone. It just takes a lot of reading. You have to read a lot of item descriptions, and you have to, like, be very... Like, you have to investigate a lot of stuff. Like, when you start to realize that everything in these games has some kind of little meaning, it helps. Like... Okay, and you're backstab. Don't remember, okay. I should also trade out my physic tier for something a little bit better, but... Oh well. Do that. We've got Claw Attack, Ritual Sword, Prosthesis, and Prosthesis Wearer Heirloom, so we should be good. I mean, if I don't do this, don't be shocked, because this is easily one of my best, or sorry, easily one of my worst bosses in this game. But we will try. Okay. So, wow, that's a lot of damage. What the fuck? Okay, let's shackle him now. Oh, I totally missed.
Stained by my curse, such shame they cannot bear. Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Oh, dude. That's a one-shot combo if you don't dodge it. That was really good, though. Can't help you, bro. I died like 20 times to Flying Dragon and Keel. Hard boss. It's so weird because I hate focused lore. I want to pick stuff up and be like, what does this text implicate? Because then you get into unnecessary dialogue that absolutely kill replayability of the game. Yeah, I think that's, like, games with unskippable cutscenes are really obnoxious. I think a lot of games have been getting out of that, though. I am curious just to try shackling him right now. See how much damage we can rack up. That's pretty good. There we go. Okay. So this, we need to do that. Should have back dodged.
Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Aww. Wow, second try. Jesus Christ. And we should have really gotten it the first time, but I goofed up. Didn't we clap this guy earlier? How is he back? Well, through the power of the Erd Tree. No, that was like earlier. It's like a clone of him, or not a clone. It's a projection of him. That's like his Batman persona, but he wears the exact same outfit when you see him later. They really should have like dressed him up in something a little more stealthy when he's Margit, because when he comes back as Morgott, it's completely silly. Okay, she's gonna talk a lot, blah, blah,
by the mantle, the thorn,
blah.
the only way and become my purpose. So I'd like you to the flame then and guide you. Shall I let my share them with me?
I think we'll get a little bit more HP.
Your ambitions.
40 dex seems pretty good right now. And then we'll get moving into the Forbidden Lands. Malekith does a good job at dressing up. Yes, he does. And then Forbidden Lands. Okay, we've got Fire Giant. We've got Commander Nile. Which Nile will be fine, I think, with this setup. I mean, we have, like... I think this is easily the best build I've done for this run, or for these runs. Dagothur's was good, but it was very unfocused. And so, I think this one, with this being, like, not only my, like, probably 20th Elden Ring run, but also 4th one in this kind of series, I think we're on really good pace for time. We're right now at under 4 hours. So we're doing really well. And I'm trying to think, too, I don't think we need to get anything from Ronnie, so we don't really need to go into the pit down below. For anything in particular. We don't need to fight, like, Fortisax or anything down below. I don't think we really need any weapons from down there either, so... Yeah, I mean, we're good. We don't need to fight Estelle for anything, because we don't need to get to the Moonlight Altar. We really, if we could get the Lightning Scorpion Charm, which I don't know where that is, but if we could get that for this build, and maybe I'll swap one of the swords to fire, because we're just doing really well on this run, so I don't think that swapping one of these swords to fire would be a problem. But we do need to get some stuff in the DLC. Yes, we need to go into the DLC, so we need to kill Moog. It's really cocky of me to say that I could take on Moog right now, because I don't think that I can, but it'd be kind of funny if we went to go fight him right now. We're level 63. I don't know what level I normally fight Moog at, to be fair. I'd pay at least $10 if I could ride Torrent on this bridge. Or if this guy wasn't here. I hate this dude on the horse so much. We struggled with Moog with others. Yeah, Moog was a big problem for... I think for the other two. Dagothur, we killed him first try before he even got to do Nihil, which was insane. But yeah, Moog was really tough on Sotha Sil. He was... I think he was pretty tough for Vivek, but... I don't know. This Almalexia build easily has the best talismans. Like, the best talisman setup that we've come up with so far. Beck and Set did struggle. Pretty hard, too. My Vivek run was just bad. I think that I was, like... I don't know. We got better time on Vivek than Sotha Sil, but I do remember that Vivek run being pretty bad. Because I was so not used to how slow Vike's War Spear is, because that thing is really slow. I think if I'd spec'd better... I remember we kind of got stuck with Vivek. Couldn't kill Moog or Melania. Yeah, Vivek was really in a bad spot for a while. Like, he just was very stuck. But I think we're on really good time right now. And, okay, I gotta check my engagement. I gotta do. Okay, I've gotta go pretty soon. We'll get up to, we'll get out of the Forbidden Lands, and then I'm gonna go. Because I have to go get dinner with my parents and with my uncle. Going out to eat. So... this will be a good time to call it. But, yeah, a lot of good work done in about 4 hours. A lot of good work. And tomorrow, I'm going to get more work done on the Almalexia video. I'm going to try to get some work done tonight on it as well, but I will also be meeting with some of my D&D players to discuss character stuff tonight. So, hopefully... hopefully I'll have the video ready to go by this weekend. The script writing has been interesting, though. I remember yeah, I read that already. I got stuck with Vivek. Yeah. We've also got the bell bearing, the smithing stone bell bearing for smithing stone 3, I think is right up here. Yeah, but really, it's Nile, Fire Giant. I want to get that map, please. Yeah, it's Nile, Fire Giant are necessary bosses. If we kill Nile, we get access to our clothes, finally, so Nile should be prioritized. And I think with Nile, I think I can beat Nile. Nile has a very, actually, simple moveset that looks really dangerous, but I think I can beat him. So I'd like to do that to get access to the Duelist, the Rotten Duelist armor. Before we fight Fire Giant, I think is a good idea as well. Let's go get this bell bearing in here. And, yep, it's number 3. Think you can take on Moog after Fire Giant, then maybe Malenia? Yeah, probably. I really like Moog. I just have been making mistakes with him, and I think with Vivek our build was just very bad because it was a fire build. But with this Almalexia build, I don't think Moog really resists lightning over anything else in particular, so it should be good. I'm gonna eat this. And this. Oops, I bought 1 extra. And then we'll fully upgrade our weapons, so the next time that I get on, we'll just be able to go. Will be cool to see the Rotten Duelist outfit. Malenia does drop Wraithguard. Yeah, Malenia is necessary in all these runs for dropping Wraithguard, because we have need of it. So, we'll need to do that at some point. And then I also did mean, while we're here, really quick, I meant to put on Golden Vow, because we can lightning infuse that now. And then if I go get the Fire Wet Blade, we'll turn the other one into True Flame. We'll probably get less, well, we will get less damage for that, but oh well. So, we're going to end things here. We've got plus 18 and plus 19 scimitars that we've been beating the game with, and no armor. So, I'll meet you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to check out on Twitch or on YouTube, as I'm trying to hit affiliate with Twitch right now as well. So, damn, guess I came in late. Yeah, sorry, I gotta go. My uncle and my parents were going out to eat. So, next time, we'll pick this up. We'll go fight Nile. We'll go fight... we will go fight Fire Giant. We'll go fight all the things. So, peace out. Talk to you next time. And see you around.